Hello, people. I'm a little late. Had to do some research, as Boober would say. Once we get a few people in here, I'll start going over a few things. But this is the Boober files, the Goober behind the Boober. And I got a bunch of stuff I want to go over. I'm really interested to see how this is going to go. So stay tuned. Getting all my bullet points in line. Give me a moment. All right. So, how you doing? How's your mom? How's your dog? Got a few things I'm going to go over. Boober seems to... He's got a plethora of things wrong with him, right? So, I was reviewing his videos. Hey, A1 Street, how you doing? I was reviewing his videos. Thank you. It's an awesome picture, ain't it? It really fits the description of the depictee, right? So, I was reviewing his videos because, of course, he had to, in some capacity, fire back, shots, whatever. He's got info, right? He's got snapshots, he's got screenshots, messages, he's got info. Well, we want to see it. Don't be telling people on the internet, YouTube, Facebook, social media platforms, what have you, not to be that guy and say something without proving it, but turn around and do it yourself. Because now you're saying you have something, but you're not willing to prove it. So why don't you take your own advice there and actually prove something instead of saying you can and in fact not? Because that right there would make you, I know, right? So manly. Look at them titties. Look at Taco. Shit. I'm glad Taco came in. You've been modded up, bro, too, by the way. So he claims to have these screenshots, snapshots, and messages that would make my mom and dad look like fool, look stupid, what would have you. Well, we're waiting. You got the crowd waiting. So in turn, what's going to be your next move? What are you going to do now? Are you going to go generate something, or are you actually going to put up actual factual evidence? Man boobs. He does have man boobs. It looks more like a B cup to me because the extra weight gain, but that he might lose that. He might lose that weight because, you know. You're welcome, A1 Street. He doesn't know my mod clan is way bigger than his. So anybody gets pissed off, they can just remove. But he stated in his short this morning that he has, screenshots and what have you. I want to see those because you're here telling me that I have to provide documentation and proof of my lifestyle and everything that I do to you. Somebody that I don't know. You know what I mean? He probably is into Balloon Gate. I would not doubt it. So, we need to see this evidence that you got, boobies. Yeah, Taco, fuck it. Just throw your whole self through the door. Through the door. Don't tread lightly. Throw yourself. Sometimes you just gotta assert your whole self to the situation. B negative then? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Technically, that would be a B negative. Let's see here. I'm just trying to put that up so the comments can be seen. So he wants people to admit to the wrongs, right? And by wrongs, I'm guessing he's meaning the wrongings significant to the Boober clan. Because I think the Boober clan is part of a cult. I really do. Because there ain't no way this is real. B minus. Hey, Boober's got bigger titties than mine. I'm kind of jealous. That physique he's got, he can jiggle. That's bullshit. It's probably why he gets mad at his wife. Did I say that? Oops. And there be Miss Suzette. Let me see here. Yoink. And there you go, Suzette. Now you're a moderator. Yeah. I mean, the guy's like, he's dense as lead. Like, he's never happy. Nothing you can say to him, nothing you can show him is proof enough unless, he's got prior knowledge of it before you gave him the proof. At least that's the way the tables are wanting to turn, but they're just not turning here like that because Cajun's smart. Cajun knows a few things, and Cajun sees some bullshit here that probably needs to be addressed with Boober because things are lining up in ways that, well, he didn't think, young whippersnapper here would catch on to. And I'm gonna, literally the mod squad. We're gonna point out a few things. And like he wanted me to do my research, and that's probably the worst thing he's ever said in his life because I did my research, and well, it's looking pretty grim for him because of what I've been able to dig up and what I've been able to find. The theories and the reasons and the rhymes. So he seems to think that because Cattle King has a child abuse charge on his, record, that he has been charged against the Jessica Lunsford Act, which isn't correct because the Jessica Lunsford Act applies to sexual, lewd, or heinous crimes against children and those underage. Jason was not charged with a sexual, lewd, or heinous act against this 14-year-old that he apparently, got the abuse charge against. There is no conviction on his record that states he was arrested for anything sexually related. So therefore, thereby in, he is not a sexual offender or on a sexual registry. So that's been debunked. That child abuse charge has nothing to do with the compliance of the Jessica Lunsford Act on his record. That certificate of compliance means he is Gold Star rated. He can still have everything he can have to do with children. You know, he can be around them, he can go to the schools, be part of community events and such and the like. And it's not a charge. It is not a charge at all. It is basically saying in a legal sense, it's a thumbs up. That certificate of compliance, it's a thumbs up to the reader saying that, hey, he can go work at a school if he really wanted to. Like, it's not saying that he's a predator. He's not on a list of any sort. And the Jessica Lunsford Act particularly only covers sex offenders and those who have been charged with sexual related lewd or lascivious acts against children or minors. Thereby in which Jason was not charged with any of the sort. Therefore, he is not a predator. Thereby verifying that the certificate of compliance aligns with his record because it's a compliance certificate and not a charge. Is that simple but dumb enough, but circling back to Chase My Tail enough for Booberman to understand? And it is. It is the most heinous act I've seen. They're using something so serious to harass somebody. And it's not valid. It's sick. And you're right, Taco. We're going to pin that one up there. Yeah, they would be rich if they replaced their square jar to reflect the Jessica Lunsford Act. They would. And see, this is where he's getting his laws mixed up, because later on we'll get into it and we'll get into my theory on it. But this guy, he's acting like he's a public figure, like he is somebody you have to answer to. Oh, you answer to me or your life's going to be hell because quote unquote my connections, which we'll get into later. You know, we'll get into later. It's okay. So, moving over the admitting of the wrongs to the Boober clan, the compliance versus charge, and the child abuse factors, and the fact he's not a sex offender, right? We apparently deny everything, and we are never honest. I've literally went and wrote these points down in a notebook. So, yeah, Booger needs a job. Literally. He's got nothing better to do. He's probably watching this, or has one of his moderators watching this. He's probably piss hot mad again. That motherfucker never learns. Yeah, no, what it is I do learn, and that's my problem. I learn a lot more than I'm supposed to, and then I turn around and make people crawfish. You see. That's why they hate me. They hate me because I'm on this side, and they could have used me on their side because of my intellect and my intelligence. Sorry, I had to move my keys. So, I deny everything and need to be honest. Well, I've been honest this whole time. And honestly, I think you're a fucking creep. I think your connections need to turn on you. Okay, your quote unquote connections. I think they need to turn on you and knock the boogers out your boober nose. And I quote, the boogers out your boober nose, unquote. He's got perma wet brain from all the years of drinking heavily. His shit is fried. I'm talking about absolute. Boy, hold on. Boy, you barbecue. Your shit look like fucking fried eggs. Boy, your shit's like the damn skillet. It's hot and your brain's the damn bacon. It's frying and shit. You don't fry your shit on that alcohol, man. Anyway, get the barbecue sauce. He's going to need it. Yes, I do have multiple personality disorder. This is confirmed, so. A lot of it is Toby, you know, a couple others that just go psycho for a second. But it's weird because, you know, I can actually somewhat control it. But yes, I do take medication for my shit. Yes, I do manage myself pretty well. for those who are not inclined or those that don't know or try to say anything about it, I do take care of myself very well. I don't let it cause chaos to the outside world. I don't let it bleed into problems if I can help it. And past that, you know, they can get fucked on it. Or they can sit on it and spin, you know, do little whirlwinds and shit. This guy acts like he's got, like, how do I put it? Okay, so, like, y'all remember that one kid in school? That one motherfucker that always talked the best extravagant shit. This motherfucker swung on he swung on the vines with Tarzan, okay? You know, he beat Tarzan off the vine, took the vine over, and became the king of the jungle. You remember that unbelievable ass motherfucker at school? He reminds me of this dude. Toby is the main one. Toby is the smarter, more aggressive one. Toby is the one that I don't like getting out of the cage. Because yesterday, Toby, you know, Toby likes to say some very, very bad words. William tries to be the intellectual. Bubba is the, you know, the kid. Toby is the one you don't want. You know, he can be extravagant sometimes. Sometimes I sit back and be like, damn, dude, that was something else. But Toby is very intellectual. Toby sits back he sits up there and he sits back there and he watches and he listens. This is why Toby doesn't like this dense as lead fuck. Yeah, Toby's the one that used the N-word. That's Toby all the way. Toby, like when Toby gets out, William can't control Toby. It's like a switch gets flipped, and it's just like it takes a few moments for my brain to override it. It's part of having multiple personalities, real, actual multiple personality disorder. Nothing like my sister claims to have. It can inhibit things. Obviously it can cause major chaos in social networks and social, you know, partnerships and engineerings and shit, you know, but it's all down to the affectee that determines if they're going to try to control it or better themselves. Which I know, you know, Boober probably use that against me, but I don't care. Toby don't care either. Toby's waiting for it. That's what I say, you know, Toby needs to stay at bay. They don't need to piss off Toby. Toby's the doctor. Toby's the one that just does not give a flying fuck. Try to keep Toby back there. We try to keep him full of nicotine and caffeine because he does, man, we all seen what he does. But Toby also has we got a few more bullet points to go over. So Boober likes to use the word bitch bag, right? And I think that is because Boober hasn't had confrontation with an actual man a day in his life, right? See, he likes to use the fact that I have an accent. I'm a hillbilly or whatever you can call it, which I'm from Louisiana. We call ourselves coon asses. You know, and that's literally the Cajun Creole derivative of the word asshole, translated from Creole to English. Coon ass means asshole. You know, I grew up in Louisiana. I know these things. Yeah, Toby don't give a fuck. I like to say that I'm inbred hillbilly fuck or whatever. Well, truth be told, if I was actually a bitch bag, I wouldn't be as calm as I am after hearing literal threats. Because, like I said, you don't want that other fucker in the cage, bro. So, now that we've covered bitch bags, because he likes to say Bubba bitch bags, let's go over something you stated, and I can pull the statement too. And it's actually, I might go ahead and pull the video before you decide to pussyfoot around and delete it, because that's what you guys are good at. Because I want to go over this. because you seem to think you intimidate somebody. You think you scare somebody. You really don't. And it's kind of pathetic at the same time, as much as it is pitiful, watching you sit back and put yourself up on this self-proclaimed pedestal that it's thin as air. Nobody can see it, right? But you can see it. And it's okay to you, because as long as you can see it, it exists to you. And it's okay, Boober. Some people have the mindset too. You're not the only one out there. But for which we cannot see, thereby in which we cannot believe. And remember that. Because you say you got information, you say you got screenshots, you say you got stuff to prove. Well, we're waiting, bitch boobs. I actually just come up with that one. Let's see here. And the honest air instead of the lying fucking cunt air. How about that? Try that for a new fucking thing this year. Try to be honest with people. Okay? It's okay if you get looked at differently. They might still be your friends. Okay? Your son, like I said. Well, let me reiterate something. I have acquaintances. I don't have friends. I have maybe 4 close friends. Unlike, somebody over here. Friends stab you in the back. Friends will always fuck you over. Friends will utterly ruin your life. Okay? Trust me. I've been there. New generation, I know about it. Carrying on. Your son should have been fucking swallowed. And guess, Bubba. Okay, so I am abhorrently sorry that I am the son to my mom and dad that you wish you had. I'm sorry that you don't have a son that is well decked out like I am, okay? You don't have a son that you're proud of. That's what it is, okay? You want to be so proud of me but hate me at the same time, with so much resistance in the fact that it's drowning out your sense of pride in another young man. And you can't stand that. So therefore, thereby in, you try to destroy that. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mommy. Do I have it that way with connections? Yes. Do you want to meet my connections? Probably fucking not. Because honestly, you probably wouldn't be able to talk for a few months, to be honest with you. Because the people that I know love to deal with people like you. They handle it one way and one way only. So use your imagination and see how they would handle it. I have a lot more connections than you fucking ever imagine having, buddy. So play my fucking game. Come in the big boy ring. See what you can do. Bye-bye now, faggot. All right. So that being said, bring it on, faggot. Right? All right, you homophobe. Quit being so homophobic on the internet. There's no reason to call nobody a faggot, especially if they don't use pronouns like they, them, he, she, they, it. I don't go by gender fluid or gender neutral terms. So therefore, but thereby in, you are casting shade into the LGBTQ plus community, in which thereby in, I have friends in that community. So that's very offensive. 2, let's see these connections. I want to meet these connections because unlike you, Boober, my daddy did not raise a bitch. So let's see these connections. I don't think your connections are worth the fuck. I think they're a bunch of pussies. This is my live, my channel. I'll say it. And you can show it to them. Tell them to come find me. Don't think I'll be talking for a couple months. I mean, they might have slapped the shit out of you, but I've been hit harder by women while having intercourse. So I don't think they'll bother me, okay? I can take a hit. I've been hit by way bigger men than you. I mean, who are you, puny peon? Let's play your game. I've already stepped into your ring. I called you out publicly on YouTube's platform. I have the contact to the ring. I have the gloves already pre warmed up. They're waiting for us. I've called you out, buddy. Buddy. Since you like to use the word buddy. Why don't you stop being such a laid back, condescending pussy and come handle that shit yourself instead of using quote unquote connections? Because real men, or at least real men of the South, we don't call somebody to deal with somebody. We're typically the ones to deal with it ourselves. You see, I don't know how you Yankee Doodle dickheads do your business up there, but it's definitely a culture shock, far like astronomical unit from here to the fucking sun's difference from how we do it down here in the South. Okay, because typically, if I want to fight somebody or if I have a problem with you, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna meet you at the Walmart parking lot. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, and that's typically how we do it down here in the South. But it's apparent to me that up in the northern areas where the Yankee Doodle dickheads like to play, y'all like to call everybody and your mama's homeboy to come and make sure you don't get your little pitty witty ass whooped. You see? We were raised down here, down yonder in the Chattahoochee. Y'all were raised up there where the air is so fucking thin, your brain cells are starting to, wear out, Weir. I had to, I'm sorry. Pun intended, like fully intended. So, with that being said, I would like to play your game, faggot. I would like to play your game. Because these are apparently scary people that you have, and I'm more curious than I am terrified, should I say. Because do you really have these people? Will they really risk their life, their bodily harm, and putting themselves in the way just to come find some guy on the internet that you have beef with that you can't handle yourself? I mean, are they really going to trespass onto another man's land and come find somebody just to prove a point to what? Internet godfather, granddaddy booby woobs? Like, come on now. Are you that big of a fucking coward? You are. You really are that big of a coward. My bad. You said it yourself. I have connections. You don't want to meet my connection. No, I want to meet you. I don't want your connections. I don't want to meet your daddy, your mama, God forbid Tammy, because I don't, pigs can eat a full body in 8 minutes, right? You know that. I definitely don't want to get ate by the big bitch, okay? I want to meet you, not your connections, you. Because I believe once you meet me face to face, you'll shut the fuck up. I guarantee you'll last a good minute and a half, maybe. Then you'll start to realize, holy fuck, this whippersnapper's got my ass in a bind. And I'm not threatening you. No way capacity or no way in form. But let's play your game. Because I don't think you're ready for that. I don't think you're really that big of a man. Actually, a man wouldn't do that. I think you're that big of a bitch. I really do. When is it ever okay to slap a woman while you're drunk and your daddy didn't raise you, to not hit women or some shit? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you are the biggest pussy that I have ever fucking had the displeasure of encountering in my entire God-given life, okay? Never have I ever thought a day in my life would I ever have to crawfish backtrack and call my buddies, my so-called connections, to intimidate a young man on the fucking internet. Good try, Boober. It didn't work. So, let's go and check that off the list. So, now that Toby politely crashed out, let me get back to what we're doing. So, On another thing you said, we're gonna backtrack back to the Jessica Lunsford Act once more. We're gonna pay homage and we're gonna re-reference that. Okay. The Jessica Lunsford Act to Boober means that somebody's a predator, correct? That's the whole thing he's saying, right? So does family court play into or cause an infraction against the Jessica Lunsford Act? Well, in a capacity, it does. See, the Jessica Lunsford Act specifically protects children against sexual predators and those thereby in charge with lewd, lascivious, or heinous acts against children. I don't need a teleprompter. This is off my head from what I read. So, get fucked, Goober. Thereby and therefore, the child abuse you're seeing on Jason's case, if it was sexual, lewd, or lascivious against a child, you wouldn't see certificate of compliance Jessica Lunsford Act. You would see where it says he is registered per the state of Florida under the Sex Offenders Act. And then you would see also thereby in his record that he has been charged against the Jessica Lunsford Act. You would see failure to comply with a certificate of compliance under the Jessica Lunsford. A failure to apply, not failure to appear, because you're so worried about the bench warrants in Louisiana, Boober. Failure to apply and failure to appear are two different things. So, you said, do my research. That was probably detrimental to you. Made my grammar board skip. So, let's cover the Broken Record Act, right? Because the only thing act-wise going on this guy is the broken record that he is. So, legally speaking, after doing my detrimental research, like Boober so desperately requested, because Jason has a child abuse charge on his record, but there, about 3 columns below that, it says Certificate of Compliance, Jessica Lunsford Act. That means the absolute opposite of what Boober is trying to imply and throw the implication onto his record and portray into his weird cult-like fucking belief, right? Compliance with the, Certificate of Compliance, once again, does not mean that you fall in the category of a sexual offender. Certificate of Compliance, Jessica Lunsford Act, means that you have been through rigorous stage 2 testing, background checks, everything that's required to make sure you can thereby be allowed to work around schools with children, have community events where children are present. You can walk on the playgrounds. I'm pretty sure Boober can't walk onto a playground, but that's beside the point. You can essentially do anything on a school ground, community events, anything where children are present, that it's a gold star. That's what it is. So, therefore, thereby speaking, good afternoon, Andrew. How are you doing, buddy? It's the child abuse charge on Jason's record. Oh, you're on a call, but you can read the chat. Oh, hell yeah. We're just, what we're doing here today, Andrew, see, Boober said to do some research, and I think that might have been detrimental to him because I've been doing a lot of research. I've been in contact with some agencies and whatnot, and, I went and got my legal pad here and wrote down a bunch of bullet points, and we're going over them today. So, like I said, just stay tuned. We're going over a few things. He's already said that, hey, I don't want to meet his connections. I've already told him I do, but we'll recap that. So, speaking back on the Jessica Lunsford Act, just because you see a child abuse charge on Jason's record does not indicate that he is a sexual offender, because there in his record, you do not see anything and you cannot pull anything, and nothing has been documented from Boober's side so far that he has been charged with foul, lascivious, or sexual misconduct with children, or even carnal knowledge of juveniles, minors. So, therefore, the charge you're seeing is it essentially boils down to a misdemeanor simple battery. Misdemeanor simple battery. When he got that charge, yes, they ran him through the rigorous, level 2 background check, and he passed all the criteria to be compliant with the Jessica Lunsford Act. That's why it says certificate of compliance, because he went through the background checks when he got the child abuse charge. Thereby he was cleared of being a sexual predator. Because a child was involved, yes, the Jessica Lunsford Act parameters were cross-referenced against the child abuse case. Therefore, thereby it was found that he does not fit the criteria to register. He does not fit the criteria to be a child sexual predator. He didn't even fit the criteria for heinous, lewd, lascivious acts against children. So they gave him the thumbs up for certificate of compliance. That's as diluted as I can put it. Basically, a kid bucked at him, hit him. He hit the kid, made a big no-no. The kid went to the principal. The principal went to the school board. The school board said, "Don't even put him in detention." You know what? I don't think you can be around kids at this point because you like to beat them up. Let's go and go through a little checklist. Let's see. Yep. You're good, bro. You can have everything to do with kids. Just quit beating them up. I mean, is that simple enough? I mean, if you're 51 years old, right, and you're beefing with a 25-year-old on the internet, and he portrays information to you that is likely correct, and it contradicts your information, why can't you just come to common ground? Why can't you just, I don't know, shoot the young man a comment or a fucking email, or I don't know, I will give you my phone number right here on live. It does not matter to me. I don't care. I can block people. I got an AI fucking agent in my phone that actually, will block, spam callers and shit, It's called a VPN, and people should check into those. So, being 51 years old, you would think this man would know the difference between convicted, charged, incarcerated, indicted, and compliant. Certificate of compliance. You would think him being that old, he would know these things, you know what I mean? Therefore, thereby it just puts the counter for the IQ points down a notch lower, should I say. He went from room temperature 73 degrees down to a cool 65 degrees, you know what I mean? So, now that we covered that, God, I have JLA so far down this damn list, it's not funny. So, we've covered, does family court cause JLA? In the terms of sexual acts against children, lewd, lascivious, heinous acts against children, yes, it does. But simple child abuse, like, I don't know, smacking your 14-year-old because he's being an unruly little prick, no, that will not cause the Jessica Lunsford Act to be used against you in the certificate of compliance, right? You would see failure to apply to the certificate of compliance because therefore he would have failed some criteria somewhere. Therefore, you would have seen failure to apply and not failure to appear. See, I think Boober, I think all this information might get to him, and he might like have a stroke mid fucking like freak out, and he gets his information all kind of screwed up and shit. Or he just likes beating the fuck out of Rose's dead horse. I mean, the JLA Act has been said so many times on his channel. I mean, so many people has walked away from him at this point. I can confirm that. Because he keeps saying Jessica Lunsford. And it's almost like I said, he's almost like that guy off of Castaway when he lost his damn soccer ball. Wilson! Like he lost his best friend. Like, I thought mockingbirds and lyrebirds, like there's an actual bird out there called a lyrebird. They can imitate literal chainsaws and car alarms. I thought them things were annoying. I thought the birds here were annoying. No, that parrot over there is annoying as hell. He grew titties. He did grow titties. Did you know, guys, did you know certain near IR cameras can see right through clothes and some plastic objects? Google Pixel 4, like the phone that I use, it actually has a infrared built into the front of it for the face flat, the face recognition, or not it's the face unlock like the iPhone does. It can see through Roku remotes. Shit you not. Fun fact of the day. So, we're down a couple points on this list. We're going to cover understanding versus comprehending the fuck, I've done said it so many times I stuttered. The Jessica Lunsford Act. So, there seems to be a stark difference between his correlation of understanding and comprehending what exactly he's looking at on the computer, the information, the printout, or just what he heard from the eared. You know what I mean? Heard from the eared. He is understanding the Jessica Lunsford Act, but he's not comprehending what all criteria of crimes it applies to. So it strictly only applies to sexual crimes against children, and only children. See, this is what happens when I did my research. This is exactly what it said when I looked it up. And I didn't have to call nobody. I didn't have to do nothing. I just literally got up over here, typed a little few things in, tippy, tippy, tap, tap, and what is that? Zippy, zippy, zap, zap. Holy hell, he's wrong. So there seems to be a stark difference between comprehending and understanding. See, one can understand, but it might be impossible for them to comprehend. You see, one can understand how to go to a water hole and drink, but they might have trouble comprehending why it is they need to go to the water hole and drink. Do you see what I'm trying? Do you see the intellect that I'm trying to put down for you guys to step in and pick up to encode in your minds that this guy's a fucking lunatic? Like, the whole acronym of leading a horse to water, that's not even an acronym. Fuck, I fucked up. The whole saying of leading a horse to water and making it drink, like I said, it kind of applies to understanding versus comprehending. One can understand that they go to the water to drink. One might not comprehend why that is they need to go to the water and drink. They might not comprehend that if I stop drinking water, I'll die. They might not comprehend the fact that they need to still go and drink water, but they might not know why that is, that they still need to go drink water. They might, that brain cell might pop up, another synapse might open up, a bridge network is formed, because when you learn things, synapses grow, brain cells grow. So instead of one brain cell, you can read as a word caller, yet have zero comprehension. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And sorry, y'all. I talk with my hands a lot, so I'm over here like doing all kinds of wild shit. So I'm trying to read the comments and look at my bullet point list and all kinds of stuff because I went like full detective on this dude and like wrote down everything he said for me to do. So that's what we're doing now. But see, like, when you learn things, your brain cells open up new pathways, new synapses are formed. See, it's almost like while he was at the water drinking, a synapse fired. There's a new brain cell. He had a complex thought. He said, well, hell, I'm here at the water drinking. Why do I need to drink this water? You see, it's the problem of comprehending. It's just not running in his brain. The programming's wrong. You see, instead of ones and zeros, zeros and ones, there's a 2 somewhere in the binary code system, and it's just misfiring in his brain. That's why it's just you can listen to the man, you can talk to him, and you can provide everything you need to provide. But it's up to him to comprehend as opposed to understand what's being said and presented to him. You see, I don't think he was expecting me to get back on, get onto this like a seminar of what the fuck. But this is the Boober files, and this is what we're doing. So, we've covered his broken record. We've covered comprehending versus understanding. Another thing, and this got me, biting the end of my pen here. It's like, I want to know something, okay? And I'm going to pull it real quick. And it's been digging a spur into my mind, right?
No, Mama Bear. You already knew about that charge. That was point blank stated when I first started my YouTube channel. And you were very thankful that I came forward and was honest about it. Unlike you, dumb fucks. Okay? Jessica Lunsford Act is on his record because he was charged with child abuse. Child abuse. I admitted my wrongdoings. Have you? No. So why don't you do your research just a little bit more? Because
that's what I did, and that's what we're doing.
I got snapshots and information.
You heard the man himself. He's got snapshots and information. I went over it in the beginning of this video. I would like to see that.
That'll make you and Jason look like fucking idiots. Okay? So, you can do whatever you need to do. That charge was already talked about in the beginning of when I started YouTube. Remember? You're the one that wanted me to do a YouTube channel to go after Andrew. Okay? And you've posted that a couple months ago. So that's old news. Everybody knew about that.
Yep.
Okay? Because remember, you tried to say it was from Gloversville. Johnstown, fucknuts. Johnstown. I never denied what I did. Unlike you guys. You guys deny everything that is brought up. Why don't you start being the honest bear instead of the lying fucking cunt?
So there's that version of it. Right, we went over a bunch of them bullet points so far.
Jason, you and Bubba the bitch bag, okay?
See, there's the bitch bag.
To understand the meaning of the Jessica Lunsford Act, okay?
All right, so we've already went over understanding as opposed to comprehending.
You have it on your record because of a family court issue. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Bam, right there, right there, right there. You hear that? Did you guys hear that?
He doesn't know what that is. Child abuse is what.
Listen again.
It's called a sealed record.
If I'm not mistaken, he said sealed record. Correct. I believe so. Well, Toby heard it too. So, I did my research. If it's a sealed record, right, it's generally inaccessible to the general public, employers, and, typical background checks, even stage 2. See. The only people that have access to sealed records, Robert Thompson, would be government officials, courts, and law enforcement. So, you just admitted that it's a sealed record, correct? So how, if it's a sealed record, how in the flying fuck are you divulging this information if you are not therefore law enforcement? If you are not law enforcement, how are you divulging sealed records information to general public platforms without permission to the law enforcement that it came from thereby in or their databases that it come off of? What gives you the right to spread that information if you are not courts, government, or law enforcement? Yeah, Tina's been doing a bunch of crackhead chores all morning. Goober is banging Alyssa. I believe it. So that's a burning question, y'all. If it's a sealed record, as he stated, it's a sealed record right there in the short, right? So let me flip my book over here. Let me write down a few things. So if it's a sealed record, see, I have a theory. Because I've been told that a couple of people on the YouTube streets have told me that Robert and Tammy use either family members that are in law enforcement, or actually, I've heard rumors of Tammy being partial to law enforcement and using her power, abusing her power to gain, divulge, and distribute private information via NCIC databases and networks. So, thereby you said it was a sealed record, but here you are in 60 or 70 damn videos on the internet spewing that this guy has a record that opposes the Jessica Lunsford Act, and the only person, peoples, and entities that could divulge or have that information is, like I aforementioned, law enforcement, government, or the court systems. And if you're not neither one of them, that's suspicious as hell that you got that information, claimed it was a sealed record, and now you're sitting here spewing the sealed information to the general public. The Sealed Records Act is a sealed record for a reason. It's called defamation of character by abuse of power, Robert. You didn't think Whippersnapper would catch on to that, did you, dumbass? So, until you can back that one, why don't you shut the fuck up? Because you told me to do my research. Well, I did my research. I reached out to a few agencies. I got some information. And, well, you know what? Sealed records cannot be accessed by anybody of any capacity of the general public. You have to have law enforcement clearance. You have to have government clearance. Or you have to be a body of the court systems. So, Robert, you want to explain that? Because, in my opinion, I think you just admitted to a crime, buddy. Matter of fact, everyone in my chat is a mod. Somebody go screen record that and save that so he can't snatch that. Please do that. I apologize for Tina's behavior. You don't have to apologize. She's a grown woman. She does her own thing. Connie, you're right. So, like I said, it sounds like to me you admitted to a crime. That is a felony level offense, correct? Like I said, the more and more shit you get on there and talk, you dumb fucking idiot, the more and more I find out, the more and more I will pick apart, and, well, the more your shit starts to fall on its nose. Because now it's starting to look like you are abusing law enforcement power in some entity or some capacity. Just how do you have access to sealed records, but you're not law enforcement, government, or court? Why don't you do me a favor and explain that? Or just do me a favor and all in general, take your fucking channel down. Because it looks like I've done caught you. And I think all my moderators will agree, because it sounds like you admitted to a crime. Sealed records cannot be accessed by the general public or employers, not even for background checks. You yourself, as an entity of the general public, Robert Thompson, cannot pull sealed records unless you are law enforcement, a body of the government, or a part of the court systems. So if you're not one of them, how'd you get the sealed records information? Why don't you just go on and take your fucking channel down, bud? It looks like you've been caught. Looks like you've been caught. Because that right there tells me everything I need to know. And, you know, if you wouldn't have been an idiot and started screaming, do your research, and then caught my attention was, oh, it's a sealed record. All right, bud, I've been on this fucking planet for 25 years, and I know sealed records can't be accessed by general public. You haven't flashed a badge. I don't see a badge number in your chat. I don't see shit indicating you're law enforcement, a government body, or entity of the court. So you want to explain that one, bud? I would love to hear the bullshit explanation you come up with that. I would love to hear the lies start pouring out your mouth like diarrhea. I got plenty of toilet paper over here for you if you need it. Because it looks like the South is going to win versus the North this time. Because, dude, that's illegal. You can't access sealed records if you don't have strict access to. And, yeah, Boober did have a lot of hate for Andrew. The wife flipped up and made him and take him in. Now, look, they're separated. And he's off to be in a room with Andrew. Oliver's best fuck buddy, Alicia. Yeah, that's right. But you know what? You know, Andrew's been cool with me. Andrew's cool over here so far. You know? And if one of y'all took him out, y'all better put him back. He's been cool so far, so, you know, I don't, you know, I go over there to his chat, do cartwheels, you know. He says I'm cool over there, and he's cool over here. So he kind of quit his bullshit with me once, you know, I started getting smarter and getting the edge in with the whole Boober act. I'm reading comments. Hold on. I forgot my lighter inside. Holy shit. Got my Sherlock pipe home. My Sherlock pipe Holmes. I got a Sherlock Holmes style pipe. It's pretty cool. It'd work better if I grabbed the lighter. But yeah. So per my investigation, it kind of looks like, you know, my theory was right. He failed the police academy, couldn't be a cop for whatever reason. And now he's got, I mean, he might have family in law enforcement. He might have connections in law enforcement. Who doesn't? I do. Everybody does. You know, he's the one, though. He's the stupid fuck I imagine to be abusing power. You know, if abusing power had a face and had a person to match that face, it would be Robert Thompson. Yeah, Taco's right. Tammy don't care as long as he comes home and don't choke her. I mean, brother, like, my daddy raised me not to beat women. If your daddy didn't raise you not to beat women, there's something wrong with your daddy and there's something wrong with you. Because I have been punched in the face by a woman and completely walked away. Completely the fuck walked away. Didn't hit her. Didn't say shit. I walked away. Because you know what? Biologically, men are more powerful than women. There's no reason on this fucking earth you should be hitting one unless your goddamn life is in danger. Or, well, in this case, you're my sister, and I'd like to open hand slap the shit out of her dumb ass sometimes because, you know, look at this shit. Look at this turmoil she's caused. But that's just Toby speaking. Who the fuck is salad dips and shit? Hey, salad dips and chips, I will tread very carefully because I got a whole team of mods. I mean, I didn't have mods yesterday, but I got mods today, and if you piss any one of them off, well, I can't save you. I'm sorry. They're very good at what they do. Yeah, I mean, like I said, as long as my mods are okay with you, you're fine here. I don't do the removal. My mods do the removal. I ain't going to get rid of nobody. My mods are going to be the ones that do it. Once my mods get tired of you, they have all the right to get rid of you. I got more than one managing mod, too. So if you're a mod and you're causing shit, you're going to, I guess. You'll be putting time out, grounded. But yes, I have friends too, Boober. I got more friends than you got, haha. I just had to do that. I'm sorry. They spread jealousy like it's fucking peanut butter on bread, Connie. I like reading my comments. That's going to be the next fucking live's name. Hang out with us at the taco bar. See, this is why I love taco. This is why I love taco. Taco comes up with the best ideas. Wait, so can managing mods name the live streams and shit? I don't know how Restream works, like all the way. I know how to work it. I just don't know how managing mods and standard. I know how standard mods work, but I don't know if managing mods can do shit with the channel like I can. Monday night is tacos night. Yeah, you're right. See, I was gonna do a live last night. I was gonna do some weather coverage, but my boss man called me. Had some problems with one of the employees and whatnot, so I had to deal with that and whatnot. So yeah, it was one of them. Boss man, and it's not you. You can't tell me what. Sorry, had to. See, and what Boober doesn't have, I have here. I have not only taco power, but I have pickle power because Pickles is part of the mod crew too. Respect the Pickles, damn you. Called my pickle. He called my Pickles name. That made me mad. Taco power. There's not too much taco. It'll obliterate the bathroom. I had to drop a Taco Bell fan. I'm sorry. Yeah, pickles can go on tacos too. I mean, personally, a lot of you might call me a freak, but I like pineapples on my pizza. I don't know. I might be a psychopath. I might be. I don't know. Stephanie's here. So, here in a minute when I go back in and take a little smoke break right now, I go back in. Stephanie what we'll do is we'll recap a bunch of things because Boober has told me to do some research, and it might have been the detrimental nail in the coffin for him because some things got uncovered that I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting to be uncovered. And these are federal felonies that we're talking about here. This is the absolute annihilation of Citizens Privacy Act. Like completely annihilated the Citizens Privacy Act via law enforcement databases, like NCIC. Walking tacos. Hell yeah. We are the Walking Taco Squad. Kind of like that. What is that? Fucking Sausage Party movie. That fucking Walking Taco? Talking Taco? Sausage Party. That was a shit. I don't know who the hell, somebody had to have been tripping balls on the shroom and was thinking, what if fucking hot dogs could talk? That's nightmare fuel to me because if I ever pick up a hot dog and that bitch starts talking, boy, I'm a loser. All right. Had enough of the cancerous bowl. Now I'm gonna move on into the investigatory room. All right, so where's my legal pad go? Where is it? Hot dogs with threatening auras. Oh my fucking god! Yeah. Hot dog. It's almost like glory holes with threatening auras. There's actually a Facebook group called Glory Holes with Threatening Auras. Unfortunately, I am a follower. I don't know how. I just seen it one day, and it was a fence post, like pipe fence, and it had a wolf's nest in it, and it said anything is a glory hole if you're brave enough. And I was like, ain't no fucking way. My hot dog has a threatening aura. I don't want to know what Taco's hot dog is capable of, but I'm pretty sure it's capable of weapons of mass destruction level events. All right. Hot dog with threatening. Oh, well, I'm going to have to follow that one. I follow birds with threatening auras. I follow glory holes with threatening auras. I follow GMT 800s with threatening auras. Salad, chips, and depths. I just said that completely fucking backwards. Oh, that's actually salsa. My bad. I went completely dyslexic. Holy shit. I went like that dyslexic. Salsa, dips, and chips. My bad. God, I can't read today. Boober is busy suckling her teat. You know pigs give birth to about 15 piglets at one time? Wait a minute. That's what Boober munches on. He munches on the pig teat. See, cases get cracked over here. There's some sick dolphin vids. Wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa. A1? What context are we talking about sick dolphin vids? Are we talking about actual dolphin videos? You know, when I was a young man, I had the unfortunate pleasure of discovering Urban Dictionary. So this world has been a binary system for me ever since. You know, some things don't mean what some things are supposed to mean. That's why I'm asking. What are dolphin fins? Is that somebody dolphin diving into the act or what? They'll just go yeet. All right, so we're going to recap real quick. So we went over compliance versus a charge. We went over sex offenders and child abusers. We've admitted our wrongs, but to the Boober clan, our wrongs and our rights are like, I don't know, left and right, maybe. I really think the man has I think he has a failure to sympathize complex. Like, he can't sympathize with anything that's not his truth. If Boober does not say it's right, it is not right. It is wrong, no matter what you say, no matter which way you argue. So, we've already covered that we apparently deny everything, that we're not honest, which I've been honest this whole time. He says I should have been swallowed. We went over that one. He also says that he has contacts that I don't want to meet, in which I definitely want to meet. Like, I got to see this. I'm one of them, you have to prove me kind of people. Like, you absolutely have. If you got contacts, you better send the whole posse to my front door. They're not going to like what's screaming to them after that, but, you know, shit moves really fast, just saying. He wants me to step into the big boy ring, which, you know, I stepped into the ring when I called him out and he went completely radio silent, other than, you know, the inside jokes he makes inside of his lives when I get bored and decide to go watch Yellowstone or Landman in the middle of the night. That one woman who jerked the dolphin off, the story haunts me. He got so depressed when she wasn't around, he killed himself. Well, hold on. Hold on, chat. The comments. Whoa, what the fuck? I'm not gonna. You know, I'm just not gonna read my comments. I'm not gonna go there. That one caught me off guard. I just happened to see fucking from my little notepad sitting here, and I see the jerk the dolphin. I'm like, wait, what? Damn, Taco, you got me off guard. I didn't know that though. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I've heard of that story. I actually now that I think about it, yeah, the dolphin really did kill herself. She had the magic touch. Oh, that's so fucking wrong. Oh yeah, they're probably gonna crucify me for liking pineapple on my pizza, but it's okay. They don't have class like I do, you know. They probably eat sardines on their shit. I don't know. I mean, I'm an avid seafood fan lover, but I don't think I would put fucking flying fucking fish on my damn pizza. I'm sorry. Oh, Taco, how the fuck do you find this shit? Do I want to know what's in Taco's browser history? Do I even want to even think about that direction or no? I worry about my browser history, but I don't know. Taco might have me beat. Can only imagine the Google search. Dolphin kills itself because woman no longer jacks it off. Oh my God. This is why I love my moderators. So, for the ones that are just coming in, we're debunking a bunch of this bullshit. So, like I said, we have covered compliance versus charge. We have covered what does family court have play in as far as the Jessica Lunsford Act. And for short, it only applies when sexual, lewd, lascivious acts are committed against children in a family court setting, in a family home, domestic issue. If you smack the shit out of your 14-year-old because he's being a little cock-faced prick, you are not going to get charged against the Jessica Lunsford Act. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's not going to be Boober's world because Teletubbies are not purple, okay? That's about as dumbed down as I can get it for you. Just because you smack the shit out of your 14-year-old stepson or whatever the fuck is he's being an unruly little prick does not mean you're a sexual predator. Get it right. So, what does it mean when you look at Jason's record and you see certificate of compliance? Does that mean you get to jump up in the air, do a screamgasm, and slap the cat across the room and knock over the lamp and kill the dog? No. That means you should read very carefully what certificate of compliance under the Jessica Lunsford Act really means. Therefore, thereby in, I'm going to explain it for you for the uninitiated or everybody that's just not gotten into the live stream. The Jessica Lunsford Act basically tells you if you are compliant with the Jessica Lunsford Act, which you will have a certificate of compliance on your record. If you are compliant with the Jessica Lunsford Act, you are basically gold star for being around children in schools, community events, and the like. Playgrounds, i.e. the such, you know. Whereas sexual predators, anybody on a sexual predator registry list, you know, sex offenders and the like, they can't get within some are 500 yards, some of them are complete miles within a playground or a school. But see, if you are compliant with the Jessica Lunsford Act, you can go literally walk into a school and I don't know, fucking flick a paper football across the goddamn teacher's lounge. I mean, that's literally what it's saying. So, Robert Thompson, i.e. Boober Weir, likes to beat horses to death. Like, this is what happened to Rose horse. It didn't starve to death. He beat that fucker to death with the Jessica Lunsford Act. Because in 70 or 80 different videos, it is said so many times that he has the Jessica Lunsford Act on his record, which therefore I have verified it through agencies and law enforcement that the Jessica Lunsford Act on his record is actually a certificate of compliance to the Jessica Lunsford Act. Therefore, stating he is not on a registry, he has never been charged with sexual acts against a minor or a child. So, Boober, in turns, makes a short incriminating the absolute living annihilated fuck out of himself. He says, and I quote, "It's a sealed record." Okay, so what if it's sealed? How is you seeing it, my brother in Christ, you might ask? Well, Cajun here can explain that for you. A sealed record is sealed from the general public, employers, and typical background checks, even level 2. The only people that have access to sealed records, sealed public records, are government bodies, court systems, and law enforcement officers. Boober has about 70 videos saying that Jason Johnston has the JLA Act on his record, correct? He said in a video either last night or this morning, I can't remember exactly, so don't quote me on it, but I played it in this live, that it is a sealed record. So discrediting everything else he said in the video, my question furthermore drags into the realm of, if it's a sealed record, how do you have access to that sealed record? 1. 2, if it's a sealed record, it's sealed from the general public. Why are you distributing? I said it. I stuttered. I did it on purpose. Why are you distributing that information to the general public if it's a sealed record sealed against the general public? That is a federal level crime. That is a felony. So therefore, that tells me that Goober is 1, law enforcement, 2, a government body, 3, a branch of the court system. Or that tells me, in the latter option, that he is using connections inside of his circle group, his peer group, or his family relative group, that is law enforcement, court entities, or government bodies, to obtain, extract, and defame the Privacy Act of people on the internet, public platforms. These records are sealed against the general public. So thereby it can't be distributed on public platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. There is a Citizens Privacy Act that plays a big part here. If it's a sealed record and you're on the internet here and you're blab mouthing this supposed sealed record, my friend, you are committing a crime. You're committing one of the biggest crimes, as a matter of fact. You're divulging sealed records information of a private citizen to the public to defame, demoralize, libel, or cause irreparable harm to their reputation, to their emotions, to everything in their life, bro. Like, you quite literally committed treason in your own country. This is the level of seriousness that we're talking here. You more or less basically, in a sense, took documents from the United States and sold them to China for whatever profit, gratification, or sympathy you gained out of all this. So, why don't you explain to me, why don't you try to backtrack what you said? Why don't you make it make sense? Explain to me like I'm 2 instead of 3, because obviously my 3-year-old brain can't comprehend. How is it that you're able to divulge sealed records information and violate the Private Citizens Act? I want to know that for sure. Because do you have access to FDLE databases? Do you have access to NCIC databases? Do you have access to SRSO registries databases? And if you do, are you in terms violating the policies set in place by your employer or your place of your place of tenure that distributes that information held privately from the public for self-gratification and reasons not aligned with the fair use of public information? Boober, you want to explain that? Like, all for clout, right? Clout is worth federal prison, right? Would you look good in a federal prison? Would your butthole stretch out enough for Big Bub on the other end in that federal prison? I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation at this point. I don't think it's raining down on you at this point. Just what you did. See, you divulged information inadvertently and criminalized yourself. You incriminated yourself. Okay, because sealed records are non-accessible by public figures. They're only accessible by 3 bodies that the United States have. That's law enforcement, the court systems, and government entities. So, did you break policy, Robert? Did you break terms and conditions? Did you do a big no-no? All for clout? All to destroy somebody's name? To destroy their reputation? To make you look good? To make you look right on the internet? Was it seriously worth committing a crime? Because at this point, it seems like you have committed a crime. It's out there on the internet, too. It's in this live stream. So if you delete that video, which my mods more than likely have grabbed that video by now, if you delete that video, it's still on this live stream. It's still your voice, you know. It looks like you fucked up, my friend. It looks like you really fucked up. Because as I mentioned, sealed records don't just happen to find themselves in the hands of the general public. And for those who have not heard it, or if nobody got it, here it is.
Jason, you and Bubba the bitch bag, okay? You guys really need to understand the meaning of the Jessica Lunsford Act, okay? You have it on your record because of a family court issue. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record. He doesn't have a compliance certificate, Bubba.
Right there. Everybody heard that. It's called a sealed record. Okay, so let's be stupid real quick. Let's just forget everybody at Raging Cajun Media, all my moderators. Let's just put that thought in the back burner real quick. Just forget we heard that. Let's just scroll up about 5 videos. Maybe 7. That's not a remix. Let's see. We're just gonna act like we're brand new to this. But you know, we're gonna hold what he said in the back of our mind. A sealed record. Hold that on the back burner in your mind. Let's act like we're brand new coming into this, right? We're just gonna play 4, 8, 12 videos down.
Well, Mr. Jason Johnston, aka Cunt Cattle. You know, I love the names you guys come out with. But you want to know something? These are questions that are asked. Why haven't you seen your kids? No one ever said anything about an order of protection being done in Oklahoma. I don't know where you got that information from. But is there an order of protection against you? Probably.
Yes, that is the best way to say distributed.
Absolutely. But this is the key question, though, Jason. Your pig of a fucking girlfriend admitted that the Jessica Lunsford Act is on your record, but she can't explain why. So maybe.
Okay, there's one time.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Mama Bear, you have to understand something. That warrant.
Not a John and Nana. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Traffic tickets. Oh, Janae, did you get a little butthurt tonight? Because I'm putting your shit out there? Why don't you come clean about the Jessica Lunsford Act? You're the one that did the short, admitting that it was on his record. So if you think I'm repeating myself, I am. Because I'm going to prove that you're a fucking liar. I'm going to prove that you are a fucking con artist.
scam artist, a fucking piece of shit that don't.
Con artist, scam artist, coming from the one that's begging people that doesn't know this guy personally for documentation proving that we have driver's licenses, my welding certificates, my API card, my ASME card, my TWIC card. We're talking about a guy that I've never met a day in my life. I don't know what he's going to do with this information, and I'd rather not be a victim of identity theft. You know, LifeLock has a $5 million policy in case I lose my identity already, but I'd rather not have to, make them lose $5 million. Did I say 5,000? I meant 5 million. I'd rather not make them lose $5 million over this internet idiot. Okay.
Deserve to even be on this earth. Okay.
So,
Mama Bear. Mama Bear. Let me guess. What am I lying about? What act?
I think he's got a crush on my mom, really, because he says Mama Bear quite a lot.
Accusations, Connie, am I putting out there?
Connie, he's talking about you.
Mama Bear admitted that the Jessica Lunsford Act is on his record. The question is why? Mama Bear, don't worry about me having a fucking shirt on. It's really none of your business. You're just jealous because my titties look better than your titties. Huh? Doesn't that suck? Well. Jeanette, once again, you are wrong. It wasn't Spider that came in and dropped the coordinates. You might want to do your research a little bit more on who supplied information stating that you're his wife, which you're not. Just like you're falsifying yourself about paying your fines, but you're trying to make money and claim that everybody else is doing this for the clicks and the views and the scams. What scams am I doing?
Trying to collect public information, private information, ID, socials, birth certificates, proof that I am a certified welder of over a decade and a half. Yeah, that's kind of a con artist right there, bro.
What scams? Because I'm not making no money off this. Tammy's not making no money off.
So, in short, this guy says Jessica Lunsford on Jason's record so many times that I'm surprised the cops haven't kicked his door in yet. Because it kind of makes me wonder, there's another thing that was said, right? And we haven't covered this yet. Nada, if you're listening, you're fixing this one's going to make you scratch your head, right? So he has said Jessica Lunsford Act, and I know about, let me see. I can name confidently about 70 shorts so far. So what I want to know is, Nada, hear me out. Listen to this.
Jason, you and Bubba the bitch bag, okay? You guys really need to understand the meaning of the Jessica Lunsford Act, okay? You have it on your record because of a family court issue. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Nada, right there. You say he said sealed record, right? So, as I've been covering, sealed records are only available to 3 bodies that the United States possesses. That is government entities, court systems, and law enforcement. I have not seen a badge number, and this man has not told me if he is law enforcement or not. Thereby, and therefore in. This is illegal. The fact that you said sealed records and you're divulging the Jessica Lunsford Act so many times, but from a supposed sealed record, that's illegal to distribute to public platforms, for one. For two, if you are not law enforcement, a court system body, or an entity of the government, and you ascertain that information per se, that's abusing of government federal law enforcement power. That's illegal. Thirdly, and more importantly, the defamation, the libel, and the destruction of one's character and reputation through disrupted privacy acts, thereby in of this sealed record, is highly fucking illegal, right? This is what LifeLock has a $5 million protection policy on people because of people like you. Because if this was actually a sealed record, the fact that you've divulged the Jessica Lunsford Act on his sealed record, quote unquote, his sealed record, makes you a criminal, makes you a Class A criminal. Because the only people that can divulge that information is, as I said again, government entities, court bodies, and law enforcement officers. The DMV can, the DMV can give that information on your driver's license card if you are, an offender of sexual status. So, Boober is actively committing a crime. And I think, honestly, he should be charged. I think I'm going to get a hold of Johnstown, New York Police Department and ask them a few questions. Because I have it right here. It's on my tablet. He said sealed record. Before all of that supposed sealed record was said, he has divulged the Jessica Lunsford Act about 70 times to a public platform. That's illegal as fuck. Then you said sealed record. That just put the nail in your coffin, bro. Go on and delete your channel. You are done, Boober. You are cooked. You have been confirmed abusing law enforcement databases power, right? You have been caught in the act. Your words of anger have just burned you down. Exactly what I wanted to happen. It's exactly what I was going for. Because eventually you were going to slip. You were going to tell something somewhere that proves you are using your powers in law enforcement, your connections, your family members, to divulge information from private databases, such as NCIC and such. So therefore, carry it on and destroy a private citizen on a public platform through sealed records information. You have fucked up, my friend. Take your channel down, please. Thanks for playing, but good try. You didn't make it far. Take your channel down, Boober. This is it, bro. You've been caught. Let's see here. I'm reading my comments. So, I think not only me needs to call Johnstown, I think several others need to call Johnstown and divulge the fact that he has output sealed records information on a public platform, and he has said it and stated it himself that he knows it's a sealed record because he said it's a sealed record, but yet you're out here divulging information from a sealed record on a private citizen on a public platform without being one of the following three entities: government, courts, or law enforcement. So, Boober, please explain yourself there. How are you going to divulge sealed records information on a public platform and you're not law enforcement, a court entity, or a body of government? That right there, brother, is illegal as fuck. That tells me you have somebody on the inside feeding you information to the outside to furthermore destroy the reputations of people on the internet. So tell me, how many people have you looked up? How far back into records have you dug on people using your connections in law enforcement? Please do tell me that. Did you do this with Andrew? Did you do this with Brooks? Did you do this with Benny Keys? Did you do this with Tammy? Did you do this with everybody you have encountered so far? Please tell me, Boober. Queso and chips. No, you don't need to really rewind. I'll recap it again for you. So we're going over the difference between compliance and a charge. We're going over the differences between sex offenders and child abuse. We're going over the fact that I deny everything. I'm not honest. I should have been swallowed. We already went over all of that. But the most important thing we're going over is understanding versus comprehending the JLA Act, right? So, like I mentioned before, understanding and comprehending the JLA Act is more or less boiling down to you understand you go to the water hole to drink, but you can't comprehend why that is. You need to go to the water hole and drink. Otherwise, you die from it. You know what I mean? So, we also are covering, does family court cause the JLA Act? And in that capacity, it does only if sexual interactions are made with a child, and thereby you're convicted of sexual, lewd, lascivious, or heinous acts against children. Therefore, thereby you will have failure to comply and a failure to apply yourself in a certificate of compliance with the JLA Act. So, thereby we're also going over the fact that Boober has said Jason's record involving the JLA Act was sealed. But before that video was dropped, 60 or 70 videos before that, he has, dispositioned the information out there that Jason is a sex offender. He said he's got the JLA Act on him. He's got child abuse and everything. But if that's a sealed record, how, if you're not one of the three bodies, government, courts, or law enforcement, how are you divulging that information on a public platform? Why are you divulging that information on a public platform? And more importantly, where did you get that information from if you're not one of those three bodies? So therefore, thereby it looks like you've been caught using your connections in law enforcement to dig information on people to furthermore destroy the reputation on public platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and the following, This is starting to look like Boober has committed a crime, Queso. And he's re-victimizing others, too. So, Boober, how does it feel to be repeated over and over and over again? Because it looks like you've committed a crime, my friend.
A sealed record. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Right there, Queso and Chips. If it's a sealed record, why are you divulging information from a sealed record to a public platform such as YouTube? And this person does not hold offender status or is on a registry for sexual offenses. You see, this is looking bad for Mr. Boober. Because if you put it all together, either he is law enforcement, government, or court. One of those entities. He's got to be one of them. If he's not, then how is he getting the sealed records information and putting it out there? So that can only mean that he's using connections or family inside of his little friend group that is law enforcement, gathering that information and dispositioning it out on the internet. Yeah, you're absolutely right. This can cost somebody their pension. This can cost somebody their retirement. And like I said, me and a couple of others might just go in and call Johnstown and let them know what the fuck's going on, because it seems like you've been caught crying. Like I said, your anger and your mouth told everything you need to fucking tell, because sealed records aren't available to the fucking general public, bro. That tells me you have connections that you're using to actively destroy the reputations of private citizens on a public platform. So, crawfish yourself out of that one. Oh my God, Queso. Yeah, you see, Queso, that's what, I already knew it. I already knew how he was doing this. I already knew how, but I couldn't prove it. But critical thinking, him saying sealed records, that just pretty much fucked him. Okay? Like I said, I think he just needs to go and take his whole channel down. Just take your channel down. Because I've caught you. You have fucked up, gotten mad, and run your dick sucker too many times, buddy. And now you can't revert back on what you said, because I'll do it again. Let me just unlock my tablet here.
A sealed record. This child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record. It's called a sealed record. What that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Taco's lost it.
He doesn't have a.
Okay, so I've played it about 5 times. That way it's out there on the internet forever, can never be deleted. That is Robert Thompson admitting that he has knowledge of sealed records. Whoops. That was a fear fart for Robert. That was Robert Thompson himself admitting openly and plainly, blatantly to the world that he has inside knowledge of sealed records. Therefore, thereby he is actively committing a crime. Right? He is abusing law enforcement database power. He is defaming, lying, cyberbullying, stalking, harassing, and also destroying of one's emotions and causing great duress via telecommunication harassment. That's a serious crime too. Somebody's going to lose their pension. I hope, really do. I really hope it was worth it. Because nothing you can do at this point, Robert, nothing you can do at this point can save your ass. Nothing you can do can save you. There's a reason you've seen what you've seen on my video yesterday, basically showing Jason's records. There's a reason you can see that from my end. And like I said, only 3 bodies have that clearance to get those records, sealed records, family court records, family court documents, and everything. There's only 3 entities out there that can do that. Family records are also sealed, so like I said, bro, you're pretty much fucked. Pretty much fucked. And on top of it all, you're violating YouTube TOS. And how in the absolute flying dog fuck you're still on YouTube, bro? I will never know. But that's not for me to find out. That's for you to find out. Because I'm going to be emailing the creators of YouTube, you know, the big people that run YouTube themselves. And if your channel is not gone, brother, they're going to take your channel down. Okay? They're going to hardware ban you. That way your devices can no longer get on YouTube servers. I have a plethora of evidence that will coincide with my reasonings to have your channel removed. Therefore, in speaking, I suggest you just do it the easy way and save everybody a headache today. Just take your shit down. It is the best way to deal with this all because you dropped the ball, my friend. Sealed records, like I said, they can only be accessed by 3 government bodies. And yes, law enforcement is a government body, courts are a government body, and the government is a government body. So don't try to fact check me on that. The government has a government to its government. It's called the people. We the people. Yeah, his channel's smallness does let him fly under the radar. Yeah, and Queso is right. Let me go and pin that. Because I know one of his Bushwickies is watching. That's totally fine. Maybe they will give him the sound somber advice to delete his channel. Because you had, like I've mentioned, you have been caught breaking the law. Actively divulging sealed records information on a public platform. And if I do, let me go. Actually, I can't go look it up because I'm under the device in the damn house. Okay, so yeah, what we're doing is we're taking a detective smoke break, and we're gonna catch up on these comments. Let's see here. Ro is next. We will be. I'm going to be talking to YouTube's main, account people. The people way high up that can remove your channels and hardware ban you. I'm going to be talking to them about Ro's channel too. And those who follow in suit under the Boober clan, you're going to have your channels removed too. Like I said, the best way to go on and save YouTube from getting in your ass is take your channel down. Just go on and take it down. Because, like I've said, all my moderators have heard it. It is in this live stream, so it can't be deleted at this point now. And if I got to, I will turn my camera on and show the actual short. So you cannot deny or avert in any way that you divulged sealed records information on a public platform to slander, lie, libel, and ruin the lives of a private citizen. Hi, it's Agrai. Hey, girl, how you doing? Yeah, they need to leave your name alone because, like I said, Jennifer, he's been caught literally divulging sealed records information. Everybody's heard it. Like, I played it like 5 or 6 times just a few seconds ago. Sealed records. 70 shorts before that, the JLA Act was mentioned. If it was sealed records information, it should have never been mentioned on the public platform because 3 entities are only allowed to access and divulge that information. So therefore, thereby in, Boober, you are committing a criminal offense. Please do us a favor and take your channel down. Or I will be getting a hold of YouTube's administrators and I will have them force you to remove your channel. Because YouTube and the terms of service absolutely does not align nor comply with none of the creating or creations of your channel. And YouTube also will not support you divulging sealed records information to destroy, harass, libel, damage, defame, and or ruin the reputation of a private citizen for your sick, twisted gratification. So they're thereby in saying, please remove your channel. Reach out on X. To YouTube is the easiest and most direct way to reach out. Okay. I do have X, by the way. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be turning both their channel URLs in to YouTube administrators on both X and YouTube platform. And I'm going to petition for them to remove their channels if they haven't already manually removed their channels. And if it escalates any farther, I will get law enforcement involved, and I will petition and push for cyber stalking, cyber harassment, defamation of character, libel, and the divulsion of sealed records information on a public platform to do 4 of the aforementioned acts, libel, defamation, destroying one's reputation. I will get law enforcement involved each and every other way I have to. So please, just take your channel down. Act right. You can go on and send me all of the proof you have because it's going to, like I said, I'm going to email it straight to YouTube administrators. And I'm going to petition for them to remove their channel if they haven't removed it manually. Also, if they publicly apologize, I might take it easy on their channel. I might let them keep it. But at this point, I'm looking at full termination of their channel. Hey, Lindsay Fowler, I would tread very carefully because my mods will take you out real quick, okay? I don't have no control in who they take out. So you have a chance to apologize. I would apologize now. As I said before, Lindsay Fowler, my mods are very good at what they do. They are the ones that decide who stays on the channel and who goes. So that being said, I have no control if they take you out, okay? I can petition them to not take you out just yet. Maybe you can apologize, but if they take you out, it's over. So Lindsay Fowler act right. She said, and you're harboring two fugitives while you are accused of choking your own daughter. So there's that, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna grammar police the fuck out of this one real quick. And you should have started and with a capital A. You should have put an RE at your, as in you are harboring two fugitives while you got that one correct, but you should have took the A out and put the ER or the RE. My bad, I went dyslexic. Accused of choking you should have just put your daughter instead of your own young daughter. So there's that, bro. Where is the punctuation? Where's the commas? I like harassing. That's what was said. Everyone here must be adults. A1 is absolutely correct. Like I said, I have no control over my mods taking you out of here for talking shit. You can come up here with an open, debatable question. You can get ugly once, and I'll give you the chance to apologize. But if my mods just don't fucking like your attitude, then my chance for you to apologize means nothing to you. Means nothing to them. They're taking you out either way. They have more control over this than I do, really, because all of my mods know me personally. They know that this is open to debate. This is open to debate. Here I expose bad actors. And if you got something to say, an opinion, I would like to see it. But if you're coming in like you just did, they just take you out. And thank you, Suzette, for taking them out. Well, putting timed out. But, maybe 5 minutes in the corner, we'll make them think straight. Uh-oh. Holy shit. Not a drama nana. Let me go and pin that one up there. You beat your own daughter? Oh. Wow, the tables have turned. Oh, wow. I am glad somebody came forth with that information because this man has said that I had pistol whipped and pointed a firearm at my daughter. And this was information fed to him by my sister, who is known to lie a lot. She comes up with fantastical stories of libel and defamation and sexual assaults that never happened and the such, But we're not here to discuss that. We are here to discuss Boober. And the fact that he has divulged sealed records information to a public platform, thereby damaging the reputation of several individuals. That right there is a class action lawsuit, Boober. That is not just one lawsuit. More than two people is a class action lawsuit. That class action lawsuit, you're not going to win. The evidence is all out there, bud. It's all out there. Cyberbullying, stalking, harassment, everything. Pulling people's records without being law enforcement or being permitted by databases being governed or run by law enforcement, government entities, or court systems. That is a C-class felony, bro. I believe. Don't quote me. I believe it's a C-class felony. A1, yep, you're right. My mods have my back. They do. They in my mods, they are the best. You see, my mods know. They do their research and they wait for individuals that like to come in like that. They might not seem like they're there, but trust me when I say it, they are there. They are there. Rico! Homie got Rico'd. All right, let's go get some caffeine. Let's check Boober's channel, see if he's replied in any capacity, tried to apologize in any way, or just plain out decided to crash out. Where's my coffee cup? And A1 is right. It is a felony, but we're not sure of class yet. I didn't do my research that far, but I know it's a felony. Yeah, and we believe in the truth over here, and that's why the Boober clan thinks I'm the devil, because I tell the truth and I can destroy everything with just the truth. And they both are guilty. They are. Yeah, Nada. You want to know who that YouTube girlfriend is? Humpin' Haley. Humpin' Haley also tried to tell me that I did not speak French, that I was not a Louisiana native. And see where she failed is oui, parlez-vous français? I do speak French. I mean, we can go as far as quelle est la date aujourd'hui? What is today's date? I'm very fluent in French. I only grew up there 20 years of my life. I speak French Creole Cajun, and it's an Acadian mix. It's derived from Canada. So when you plug up what I say into your regular translator, you're not going to get a damn thing. You see, I lived in Louisiana most of my life, and I happened to run across LSU's book of French Creole. That is a book literally about 5 inches thick of French Creole Cajun. Everything in the written language of French Creole. See, I had that book under my bed. I've read that book since I was, I don't know, 6. So yes, I speak very fluently in French. I speak for myself. I give a person grace. But enough is enough. Enough is enough. You see, I was just waiting on the dam to break, essentially. Rhetorically speaking, I was waiting on the dam to break. Because in anger, things are said that are not supposed to be said, right? And Robert can say all the day is long that I don't trigger him, I don't make him mad, but y'all can go and look and just you can see it in his face. I mean, I've worked with some of the most angriest men in my fucking young life, being a welder and fabricator. I have seen the angriest of men, okay? I've seen men that didn't want to wake up. Didn't want to wake up, okay? I know the facial cues of a mad man. That man was mad. He thereby said sealed records because he was mad. He didn't get his point across, and he slipped up and he said sealed records, which thereby somebody out there was analyzing every video. Like I said, I got multiple monitors, multiple screens. I'm watching everywhere and everything. He said sealed records, and as I turned around and proved, government bodies, court systems, and law enforcement aren't the only ones that have access to sealed records. So if you're taking that record and you're distributing it to the internet, you're committing a crime, bud. You're not a government body. You are not court systems, and you definitely are not law enforcement. And if you are law enforcement, if my moderators have not blocked you, Boober, please come into chat and drop your badge number. If you drop your badge number, that'll clear a lot of this up. But then again, when you drop your badge number, just realize you will lose your pension. You will lose your retirement. You will face likely up to 10 years in prison. So realize that before you drop your badge number if you are law enforcement. A1, there's nobody going to hurt them while I'm here. Nobody's going to. See, here's the thing. They're a bunch of normal people, right? They try to act crazy. Then you got fucks out here like me that are actually crazy, but I try my best to act normal. For those that are newly coming in, as I mentioned earlier in my life, I don't suffer with it. I do manifest with multiple personality disorder. This disorder makes it incredibly hard to deal with Boober's bullshit because a lot of the times I just want to snap and say some very ugly things. That is who we quote is Toby. Toby is the mean intellectual bastard. Toby is the one I keep locked in the cage. He is always watching, always listening. Toby knows everything. Toby does not let shit slide. So, with that being said, I am very, very aware of my anger, and I'm very aware of what's said when you're angry. See, Goober let that slip when he said sealed records. So, therefore, thereby he told on himself. And see, here's another thing. Here's another thing I want to know. Goober also stated in another short, right, He's a broken record, as we all know. Hey, Taylor, how you doing? Where's my Aspen at? Where'd she go? I need Aspen here. She's got to take and kick people out and shit. She's not doing her job. Somebody got in. Suzette had to take him out. It was ugly. I was scared. I'm just kidding. I wasn't scared. I was just more or less like, wow, you fucking idiot. All right, so we already know Boober is scared to be wrong. Correct? Correct. I think we can all speak for ourselves on that. He is scared to be wrong. And it shows. The JLA Act has been mentioned about 70 times. So he also mentioned in another short that one of Cattle King's daughters, apparently, this is allegedly, this is Boober saying this, now I can pull the short, turned lesbian, quote unquote, because daddy touched her wrong, and that's why she turned lesbian. So, with that being said, what goes through the mind frame of this man to make him think and theorize that? What makes him believe that that's what makes children turn to things outside of their sexual preference? It's almost like he would know because he's experienced it. Almost like, he might have touched his own daughter, but, it's coming into the works that he has beat his own daughter. So as far as touching his own daughter, I wouldn't put it past him because he's already beat Tammy. He's already beat his daughter. He was an alcoholic, a very bad one at that. Alcohol blurs a lot of lines for you. And alcohol also makes you do shit that you don't remember. So who's to say Boober didn't get shit-faced to the point he blacked out and did something to his kid? And this is just a thought experiment here. This is not saying he would or wouldn't, which I believe he would. But, that's just my opinion. I'm obligated to it. As long as I walk this earth, I have an opinion just like he does. And I'm obligated to it. And I'm obligated to share it under the right of freedom of speech and freedom of press. See, my thing is, just like with Rose saying, daughter dipped dick. How would he know if a parent figure touches a young child, a minor child? How would he know that that would change their preference? How would he know that maybe she just didn't want to be with men because, I don't know, we men can be really fucking stupid. Look at Boober. He's the prime example of being stupid. So, and yes, addiction is part of having lack of impulse control. I'm going to play this video and I want you to listen very close because he says this, he stated it.
Oh, now, Mama Bear, you already knew. No. So why don't you do your research? I never denied what I did. Fucking cunt back. I should have been fucking swallowed. You probably wouldn't be able to talk from imagination. Just client certificate, Bubba. Hillbilly fucks. Okay? Because that's what it's for. Not criminal, you dumb are pathetic. Do you want me to spell it out for you? Because I know that's a big word for you hillbilly fucks.
Re-victimizing is wrong.
Okay. You still think the South won. Get it right.
I still think the South won. Okay, back in 1776, we had the American Revolution, right? This is when the North and the South had their big fight, the Civil War. It turns out the South actually didn't win. The South was beaten by the Union, okay? If you would have paid attention in history class, Robert, they would have told you that. I know for a fact the South did not win. But the South will win again. Because look at the aptitude level of you Yankee Doodle dickheads.
Okay? Look it up.
And yes, a kid does hear that.
Call the family court system. Because that's what it's for. Not criminal, you dumb fucks. Do it. Since you guys are so fucking smart and you guys want to use the compliance, the certificate of compliance, prove it to me.
that he can.
Then he smacks the dog.
Fucking kids.
Then he slaps the shit out of the dog. Like, you can hear the connection when he smacked the dog. Like, what was the dog doing? Just trying to get in your lap? Was the dog trying to be affectionate toward you, but you're fuming mad at that point, so anything around you just becomes a target in your destructive reign of power? But that's animal abuse. On top of divulging of sealed records to public platforms. That's animal abuse. And you want to talk about Benny Keys stabbing the dog? Hell, you want to talk about me shooting a dog? You just slapped the shit out of that dog for trying to get in your lap, bro. That's pretty fucked up. I now believe that you beat you beat your kid. You beat Tammy. I believe it now. You just slapped that poor dog. No wonder they fight in the background. You don't treat them right. They probably fight over food. You probably starve them. Ro learned from the best, didn't she?
Prove it.
Hashtag
Until that day comes,
Toby.
shut the fuck up. Because they sit there and say that I repeat myself. The reason why I repeat myself is because you can't provide any fucking facts that it's not on his record for not abusing a child. Okay? And I do remember correctly, Mr. Jason, that you did admit to us that your child did accuse you of touching her. Is that why your daughter turned lesbian? She didn't want no dick because daddy touched her the wrong way. Huh? Is that what happened?
How does that make you feel? Everybody in chat, how does that comment make you feel? Is that why she turned gay? Because she didn't want no dick because daddy touched her wrong. How does that make you all feel? To me, that's very downgrading. That's very vile. That is the most vulgar thing you can say about somebody's kid. That's the most vulgar thing you can empathize in your own head. It's the only, like, why would this man think that through like that? Why is that the first thing that pops into his mind? I mean, if I'm thinking right, if I was born in the right country, right, this is America, home of the free, land of the brave. Last I remember, we had a whole movement for kids to basically claim whatever fucking gender they want, right? So, you know, we had this whole fad going, you know, if you called me sir and I didn't want to be called sir, I'm going to let you know and the whole public's going to see it. I'm going to record it and put it on Instagram. So, what makes you think that a touched child turns completely gender opposite? Did you do that to your own child? Do you know from experience that that's why that child turned to lesbian? Like, something's amiss here, man. Like, it's called freedom of sexuality. So, you know, I was touched, but I didn't turn gay. So what you're implying is that when you touch a child, they'll just turn to the opposite gender, right? They'll go from being heterosexual to being asexual, or however the fuck the game is played. You know, whatever other sexual, they're bisexual, whatever the fuck. You know, so you're theorizing that Cattle King touched his daughter, and that's the reason she went lesbian. I can refer to as he because lesbian, you know, hates men because, you know, whatever the fuck. So you're theorizing that because she was touched, she is lesbian, right? So from what experience can you attribute this to? In your experience, like, what facts and documentation can you construe to me that backs that theory? Because it's a theory. It came from your mouth. It came from your thought process, your own smooth brain. What makes you think that a child being touched is automatically going to transform into one of the opposite sex? Do you have experience in that realm? Did you find out for yourself? How can you articulate the evidence that's going to back that theory to me? Because apparently you know how kids turn lesbian. You said it yourself. You know, apparently Cattle King touched his daughter and she turned lesbian because she didn't want dick no more. Well, how can you back that? Because you're confident enough to come to the internet and say it, but can you confidently back it with evidence? Can you provide the evidence that she was touched by Cattle King, or can you go out there and find research documentation that, 70%, 70, 75, 76% of people, when they're touched, they turn completely gay? Can you back that? I mean, you already got a lot to explain with the divulging of sealed records. You got a lot to explain there. Can you explain the fact that that kids turn genders when they're touched? How do you know that for sure? Because in my experience, when I was touched, I didn't think, I like dick, I'm going to go gay. I more or less hate men. I mean, look what men can do. Look at you're not a man, you're actually a boy, so, fuck. I can't even say you're a man. Go look at Ray. I went dyslexic again. My bad, y'all. Let me go look at Andrew's page. So, I'm having a real hard time trying to figure out just how Boober Weir would know that a touched child would turn complete gender opposite. It kind of sounds like he has experience with that. I mean, he's got kids. Okay, so what's your question? Yes, I did just yank his manhood card. Oh, God. Let's see. What are we in for today? Please don't tell me Andrew has turned. He was cool. I hope he's not cool. That's what I'm saying. That poor child. Like, he seems like he would have experience because he's the one that said it. Just like Roe said, daughter dipped dick. What comes to your mind when you spew those words out of your mouth? What scenario is playing in your head? I mean, are you imagining your daughter getting dipped dick dinner? Because that's damn sure what it sounds like. Like, how would you know a child would turn complete opposite of their gender preference if they were touched? Did you touch your child and now you know because your child is now lesbian or heterosexually non-attracted? I got questions, Boober, and I think they need to be answered. Okay, let's see her. You damn right. I just yanked his manhood card. Exactly. He's full of rage and pent-up aggression from the lack of alcohol he is getting. His rush from abusing others on the internet supplements that lack. Hey, Robert, why don't you actually do something nice and help Andrew? Him and his daughter need some help. why don't you, instead of focusing on who doesn't have the JLA Act on their shit, why don't you help your family out, man? And I hope this video enrages you. I hope this video sends a very clear point, a very broad message. Why is Boob and Tammy not taking in Andrew and the niece he swore he would never be left on the streets? Why is he having to beg for a room when the state is paying for the kids? That is a good question. Yeah, absolutely, Robert. Get them some help, man. You helped them get into this fucking situation. You drugged them through this. Robert, help your family, man. I mean, I'm cool with Andrew. If I could help him, I would, but I'm nowhere close to Johnstown right now. Hey, Tiger. I know this is going to really enrage them. I pinned Mama's comment. So, now we're on to Boober. Help your family, man. It seems like Andrew is going through a tough time and needs some help. So why don't you help your niece out? Or is there certain situations that prohibit you from seeing your niece or helping your niece out? Because if I'm right, beating the shit out of your daughter might prohibit you from being around your niece. I mean, after all, it's supposed to be about the kids at the end of the day, you know. See, I don't think Robert's going to help. Because if he helps, he would be proving me wrong, and that's something that he has to do, is prove me wrong. He's already got to explain the divulsion of sealed records on a public platform to destroy the reputation of a private citizen, therefore breaking the Private Citizen Security Act, right? That also entails that he is either law enforcement, but not dropping his badge number so I can report him to his superiors. He is also likely using contacts, connections, and family members inside of law enforcement to distribute sealed records from their database onto a public platform to defame, libel, or destroy the reputation of a private citizen. See, Robert's done got himself into some hot water. Robert's probably trying to burn his uncle's phone up right now to figure out how he's going to get out of this. Robert's probably thinking, holy shit, the whippersnapper absolutely has me by the balls. In which I do. Because like I said, me and a couple of others are more than likely going to get a hold of Johnstown Police Department and let them know exactly what's going on and what has been said. Because once again, I will play it for the uninitiated.
Jason, you and Bubba the bitch bag. Okay, you guys really need to understand the meaning of the Jessica Lunsford Act. Okay, you have it on your record because of a family court issue. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
All right, people, right there, sealed record. 2165. That looks like a badge number. Let me go on and see. Because if that's a badge number, I'm getting a hold of the police department right away, and I'm turning that badge number in. I'm on my handy dandy tablet. Going to this profile. See what about these cryptic messages. 2165. That's a badge number. I'm gonna guarantee that's a badge number. So, Tammy Borden, are you law enforcement? That's what I want to know. Are you law enforcement? Because if you're law enforcement and you drop that badge number and your husband, Robert Thompson, has divulged sealed records information to a public platform, you are committing a felony offense. So, why don't you post on, matter of fact, since it was 22 minutes ago and I asked about 21 minutes ago for a badge number, why don't you comment on your post, yes or no, to that question, are you law enforcement or not? Because 2165 looks like a badge number. 4 digits is the badge number for law enforcement officers. So please, come up and tell me. Tiger, are you sure it's not mom messing with you? You and mom are managing mods, just so you know. Yeah, exactly. I want to see your badges. Because if you are a law enforcement officer, 2165 is your badge number, then you have no problem divulging to me, as you're supposed to by law, that you are in fact a law enforcement officer. When a citizen asked if you are a law enforcement officer, you are supposed to answer them, yes, you are. So therefore, me as a private citizen, I'm asking you, Tammy Borden, Queen Bee of Mobs, are you law enforcement? Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta go potty. I am back. I am back. So we are now waiting a response from Tammy. So as I mentioned before, Tammy Borden, Queen Bee of Mobs, if you are law enforcement, I as a private citizen am asking you, are you a law enforcement officer since you dropped a 4-digit number that resembles a badge number? You are obligated to answer now because I as a private citizen am asking you to identify yourself as or as not law enforcement. Don't be afraid now. Go on and tell me if you are or not. Andrew, come to the taco bar. We'll feed you. Andrew is welcome over here so long as he does not piss the mods off. He pisses the mods off. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Let's see here. Come on. I know she's not shit. We're fixing to find out too. Let's see. Yoink. Yeah, those messages are from 27 weeks ago and 43 weeks ago. A lot can change in 27, 43 weeks, you know. People can go through bad times. It's okay. I promise. Let me plug this in real quick. Search. What the fuck? Yes, life can change on a dime. Let's see. Have to identify. I'm researching. Okay. So we're just doing some research. We're looking into some things. Okay, let's see. Let me go and see if Officer Tammy has ever replied. Well, hello, Tina, my fellow degenerate. Tina has a peanut. I got a question for you. When you divulge sealed records information on a public platform, is that illegal? Because I know Tina Almighty. I respect Tina. Tina is my friend. Tina also is very smart, so Tina would be able to tell. Let's see. We're gonna go back to Queen Bee of Mobs. Tina has been retired. Finally, I found her. Let's see. She hasn't replied. So I would say it would be highly illegal because Tina, since you're just now joining, I'm going to give you the displeasure everybody else had to endure. When you get to hear this, you'll understand what I'm getting at here. And we're fixing to throw the whole industry for a loop here in just a few minutes. Which one was it? Which one? This one. Yeah, this one.
Jason,
Here you go, Tina. Listen to this, and once you hear what I'm getting at, I'll explain a little further, and you comment what you feel.
Bubba, the bitch bag. Okay, you guys really need to understand the meaning of the Jessica Lunsford Act. Okay, you have it on your record because of a family court issue, child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Right there. It's called a sealed record. But if we go back and we do a little bit of investigation into Boober Weir's channel, we'll realize that before this was a sealed record being stated blatantly and clearly as day, the JLA Act has been mentioned about 70 times in 70 different videos. He's been accused of child abuse. He's been accused of everything under the sun, correct? But today, follow along with me, he mentioned that it's a sealed record. So therefore, thereby in, divulsion of information found in sealed records to public bodies like YouTube is a felony. Because he is not government, he is not a body of a court system, and he's not law enforcement. Now, I did ask for a badge number. Tammy dropped 2165. So, she might be a cop. So, I asked Tammy to reply up under that 2165 with a yes or no, indicating if she is or is not law enforcement. I haven't seen anything yet, so I'm going to say no. Yeah, exactly. He don't know what's in the records, and he should shut the fuck up and damn sure not broadcast or distribute that information to a public platform to damage, destroy, defame, libel, or defamate the character of a private citizen. It's like, yeah, is you is or is you ain't the popo. Okay, let's see here. We're going to. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. This should sound familiar to some people. 518 736 4021. 736 4021.
Johnstown Police Department.
Yes, sir. I got a question.
I have an answer.
So, I think there might be an officer employed under y'all or some entity by y'all. The badge number is 2165. Would that come back to a name of Tammy Borden or an officer Borden?
Where are you calling from, sir?
I am calling from the state of Florida.
Okay, this is Johnstown, New York.
Yeah, I know. I have a reason for asking.
Okay, what is your reason? Because I'm not familiar with that name or that badge number.
Okay, see, what's been going on is me and my family has been being harassed through telecommunication on the public platform YouTube by this man named Robert Thompson. He goes by the channel name Boober. His wife, Tammy Borden, or his girlfriend, whatever it may be, goes by Queen Bee of Mobs, right? So this man cannot differentiate the difference between the certificate of compliance under the Jessica Lunsford Act and one being charged against the certificate of compliance on the Jessica Lunsford Act. He's battering my dad so far down because my dad in the state of Florida has the certificate of compliance.
Here, I'm gonna stop you right there. Where is this all taking place?
This is taking place in New York. The channel is taking place in New York, and it's kind of crossing into it's between the states. It's happening between Florida and New York.
Okay, so where are the alleged victims?
They are in Naples, Florida. That's the alleged victims. They are in Naples, Florida. I am in South Carolina. I just have my Florida number.
Where do the victims of this crime, or the crime that you're alleging, where do the victims reside?
They reside in Naples.
Naples, Florida.
Yes.
So my advice to you is to let whoever these victims are of these crimes report it to the Naples Police Department down in Florida, or whatever sheriff's office is, whatever police agency is responsible for your geographical area.
Mm-hmm.
And if they need to reach out to the Johnstown Police Department or the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, they will reach out to us to assist them in their investigation.
Yes. And see, they've done that and everything. And, it's just been kind of an ongoing thing. And, I'm not trying to burn your ear off, but I'm just trying to figure out some things because the man.
Well, I'm not familiar with Tammy Borden or that's not. All of the police agencies in this area have 3-digit shield numbers. They're not 4-digit shield numbers. And I am not familiar with that name in any of the police agencies or jurisdictions in the surrounding area.
Okay.
I've never even, I have heard that name before, the last name, but I'm not familiar with them as a police officer.
Okay. That's one question I had to, clarify just for, myself and a few others. Another thing, divulsion
again,
of...
If somebody is representing themselves as a police officer, again, I would report that with whatever your local police agency is, and then have them reach out to, if the if the agency that you're reporting this to requires our assistance in their investigation, such as making contact with or identifying these alleged suspects, then we can do that with them. But ultimately, it's going to be whatever jurisdiction down in South Carolina or Florida to take the initial report, and they're going to be the ones that are actually filing criminal charges, because
Yes.
Typically with cyber crimes such as this, the place that the crime is taking place is generally wherever the victim resides.
Yes. Yes, I'm aware of that. I just wanted to clear some things up and everything. And another thing, divulsion of sealed records. What does that fall under? Is that a felony offense?
I'm sorry, what?
Divulsion of sealed records.
I have no idea.
Okay.
That would be.
That'd be
It would
higher up
depend
in
on
the
what the
chain. Yeah.
contact without knowing the full particulars and how exactly that crime was being committed, I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Okay, so basically it's, well, it has to do with this Jessica Lunsford Act and everything, a child abuse court case and whatnot that happened in Florida. But the man, Robert Thompson, up there in New York, he has, in 70 videos I counted, at least, he said JLA Act. And like I said, he's having a hard time understanding and comprehending the difference between certificate of compliance and whatnot. And he said
where does the Mr. Thompson reside?
He's right there in Johnstown.
Do you have an address?
Because
there's
all right, so that was Johnstown Police Department. And Tammy Borden is not a police officer. They are not familiar with the badge number 2165 or 216. And essentially, yes, divulsion of sealed records is a felony. A felony in which I can pursue is criminal too, so it's not civil. I can pursue it here, and they can transfer it there, and you're in trouble still. So, Robert, I called your hometown, bud. Called right to your hometown. Called your local police department, gave them your name, your address, and all. You damn right. So, are we going to get a public apology? Or are you going to take your channel down? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Because the officer told me that that's pretty illegal based on the context that I gave him. So, my whole theory is Boober's leaking information from sources and connections inside of the law enforcement blue line out to the general public, which is a felony, right? And other departments will pick up on it and assist other departments. And yes, I did handle it well. When it came to where is his address, I muted my mic because that's illegal technically. And really, I could just tell where he lives, but I have to keep a certain level of professionalism. Okay. Yes, the mic wasn't muted, so it can't be said that I didn't call because everybody heard that was the Johnstown Police Department. So, in every capacity, you have broken the law, Robert. Divulsion of sealed records is a felony. So, I would take the whole channel down. Like, just don't start from scratch. Name it Weir Boober, not Boober Weir. What is going on in my comments? Uh-oh. Let me go say, hey, Pickles is here. And Mom, that was the Johnstown Police Department in Johnstown, New York. I called them to get some references to kind of point me in the right direction on which way I should take this legal proceeding, Because divulsion of sealed records information, it's a high-class crime, especially to a public platform to defame, libel, defame, destroy, or cause duress to any private citizen. It's under the Private Citizens Act. So, like I said, the anger is what got to you. You guys are liars because 2165 is not a badge number recognized by the state of New York. Neither is 216. 216 actually comes to a whole nother officer. 216 does not come back to a Tammy Borden or a Borden officer at all. 2165 is not recognized by the state of New York because the state of New York uses 3-digit serial numbers on their badges. So, Boober, Tammy, looks like you should have did your research because I called your hometown directly and found out the information I needed, not from the internet and not from AI. So, how are you going to curl fish out of this one? What is your plan, Boober? What's going to happen looking forward? Are you going to publicly apologize, knowing that you broke the law and somebody caught you? Now Johnstown knows. They know your name. They got your address and stuff. I gave it to them. And, they're familiar with your name. They're familiar with you. They know you. And no, they are not happy. The moment I gave them your name, they're like, him? Yep, you're right. Mr. Thompson again. Yeah, granted, I would have to get a hold of, Naples Police Department, Sheriff's Office and shit to keep going with it and all that. But it's okay. Because my message was proven. I put my point across. That I will call your fucking local law enforcement and ask questions about you. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. And it seems like you really should have considered who you were fooling with, who you were trying to pick on and bully, little man. Because I'm not the little man you want to fuck with, you know? So, Tommy, you got busted out on live stream. That's not an official New York badge number. So, what else do you have up your sleeve? What else are you going to lie about? I would like to see this. Because, see, you didn't think I would call your local police department and ask for your badge number and your name to see if that resembles any officer with the name tag Tammy Borden. Tammy Borden, they remember the last name Borden, but only under domestic account. And that's because, you know, Goober beat your ass. That in turn is why they remember and are familiar with your last name. But 2165 is not a badge number in the state of New York. 216 refers to another officer, but not by the name of Tammy Borden and not even near Borden. And that officer that it refers to is a male, by the way. So you can't say, oh, yeah, my Tammy Borden's not my name. It's not my real name. It's just my pen pal name. No, it's a male officer. Unless you got a dick, then don't try it. Why is Rojo talking about with BK? I don't know, but Benny Keys looks like he kind of flippy-floppied a little bit. You know, if he's letting Roe fill his head full of bullshit, then stay off the side, bro. Because my aim is to destroy these libeling sons of bitches. My aim is to absolutely make them take their channels down. My aim is to destroy these people. This is my goal now. When I'm not working, I'm going to be live streaming. I'm going to pick apart every fucking video, every live stream, every point you're trying to drive at my people. You wanted a war, you got one. You got an entire fucking genocide on your hands. Because nothing you have can deter me. Nothing you have is corroborating to the truth. Nothing you're providing thus far is actually factual. Because had you thought for a single cotton picking fucking minute, Tammy Borden, you would have known that Johnstown, New York does not use 4-digit serial numbers on their badges. I knew how many digits before I asked the question. See, because your husband said, do your research. I already knew prior to asking for a badge number how many digits that New York uses for their badges. I knew they had 3. You provided 4. So with that being said, I turned around, did some research. That research was actually looking up your local police department number and calling them just to make sure. So yeah. Moments in anger cannot be undone. Decisions made in anger cannot be undone. Did you not learn that in 5th grade? Look how stupid you look now. 2165. I hope those 4 numbers stick with you the rest of your life. It's the day that your fucking whole entire fucking everything ended. 2165. What is that? The last 4 of your social? You're pathetic. You should have did your fucking research, you dumb cunt. Get back in the kitchen, lady. Go make somebody a sandwich. Make yourself useful. Make yourself useful. Because you're pretty useless at this point. He wants a badge number? Well, hold on. Yeah, there's a badge number. That'll keep him from saying shit. That'll scare him off. That'll make me right because I'm Tammy Borden and I'm the best they could. Not. Nope. 3-digit badge numbers, woman. Should have did your research. Exactly. See, A1 gets it. I was smart to ask questions I already knew answers to. See, this is why they hate me. All the questions that I ask, I already have answers to. It's called staying 2 steps ahead. Work smarter, not harder. See, I just knew. I see. This is what I mean by I linguistically analyze people. I analyze people so analytically. I already know. I have a precise prediction of what's going to pop right before it happens. That badge number, like I said, I knew New York uses 3-digit badge numbers. She popped off full. Neither one of them badge numbers, even in the 3-digit version, resembles a female officer by the name of Tammy Borden. Kind of sucks to be you, don't it, Tammy? You thought you got the one up on me. You thought you were going to slam the occasion through the depths of hell. But it looks like I flew up with the fire of a phoenix and kicked you into the sun. Get burnt, bitch. Tammy is just a side piece. I dropped the link. I'm going to have to go send it through Messenger. Let me see here. Link. Paste. Yeah, I'm back. Let me see. Yeah, that is true. My heart goes out to them kids because there is no stability at this point. And directly and or indirectly, Robert Thompson has play in this. That is Robert's family. After all, at the end of the day, as true as the sky is blue, he should shoot out the helping hand and, help the people out. I mean, that's a kid on the streets, man. I mean, I know you beat your daughter, but that's a kid on the streets, man. That's your niece, Exactly. The phoenix rising out of the depths of hell. I kicked that bitch into the sun. See, when you have adversaries like I do, when you have so-called ops, the best way to not die is to stay one step ahead. We have Stitch in here.
Hey.
So what do you think of this philandering bullshit?
I
It's like, holy fuck.
think they just got caught doing their own game there.
Yep, they got caught in their own game because, like I said, actions done in anger cannot be undone. He got mad. His ego got in the way, and he said, "Sealed records." Well, per Johnstown Police Department, sealed records are not supposed to be divulged on a public platform, no matter the context. And that just transforms it from a civil suit to a criminal investigation. And then with several people involved, that's a class action lawsuit. I really want his fishing poles.
I don't think I'd want anything that man owned. Straightforward.
Yeah, I don't know who he's sodomized with that fishing pole.
I mean, ugh. We already have stuff the Ajax won't take off.
Shit, Don District has no chance. But no, see, what he thought was smart was actually quite the opposite. And then Tammy, it just makes me like joyous, like filled to the brim with joy. She got all literally balls to the wall, ripped, snorting good time, and decided to throw out 4 digits when I already knew New York uses a 3-digit badge system.
Oh, speaking of New York, would you like to hear the latest saga?
What happened?
Someone decided they were going to take my first and my fake last name and make a new Facebook account. And they have me in New York, of all places.
No, I'm betting it has to do with Robert.
I'm thinking you're right.
I mean,
ahead of it. Michael messaged me, or Death messaged me, told me what was going on. I jumped on my phone, looked, and automatically messaged baby girl and told her, hey, if anyone tries to Facebook you underneath this name, it's not your mom.
Exactly. No, at this point, it's just people making fake profiles to try to spread misinformation.
Well, just like last night, me finally, explaining to you and Mom, after 1,000 phone calls with CPS, guess what? Something's going to happen.
Yeah. So they already
1,000.
found out today he beat the shit out of his daughter.
I was talking about my own in him here. They want to keep bringing up my past and my issues with my kids. One of them was taken on 1,000 phone calls.
Yeah.
They could never prove anything wrong with the house, but they went, obviously, you guys can't get along enough to co-parent. We've got to step in and do something.
Exactly. And that's what law enforcement's supposed to do. No one's background is supposed to be used to stalk and harass them. You literally saying you won't do it before the site will let you use it. Shaking my head. I mean, Queso has a point. Queso has a very valid fucking point. And like everybody's seen, I called Johnstown Police Department and I inquired about some information. And I just cut my mic when it came to sensitive information, such as addresses and full names and stuff like that. Just because I believe in privacy. He in turn was told me he is familiar with Robert, but the badge number does not come up to a familiar officer. Thereby in the badge number 216 actually comes back to a male officer. So if Tammy's got a dick, we need to know.
Well,
and I'm not at liberty to give that officer's name out, and I'm just not going to. And I just know that it's not the officer that 2165 or 216 badge number is reverting to. Let's see if she's took it down. No, she didn't. Nope, it's still up there. She says Bubba with a bunch of smiling faces. Connie, she thought it was 150. I thought you were doing Boober the grace of knocking off 50 and just saying 100 to be even. But I guess just going to charge him the full 150. And you can tell him I said so.
oh, my mini demon's home.
Oh. Oh. How's that one doing?
Counting down the days. Queso, it's all over my YouTube channel. I came to YouTube telling all of my business because guess what? If I put it out there, it's not going to hurt me. It can't. Because I put it out. That's the key there.
Connie, no, I'm actually a Sagittarius. And that's what makes me so, quote, dangerous. Because I hold back a lot until I finally snap. And when I do snap, I get labeled the asshole. And it's okay. I accept it. I will gladly be the asshole. Queso is right. But they just don't realize that all this is being compiled and sent to law enforcement. Robert partook in drawing their tattoos on their baby's inner thighs.
Yep.
Wait a minute. So you were drawing on the inner thighs of a baby? Robert?
He was tattooing minor children's inner thighs.
Oh, wow. That's illegal, too. That's actually a form of child abuse.
Andrew. You caught that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised Andrew has turned away from Boober Crew. Maybe Andrew's starting to realize the depth of it that Boober is getting himself into. You know, because either a motherfucker is all talk or a motherfucker is all walk, and it looks like this motherfucker is all walk. Because I've been up here for 3 hours and 5 minutes, and Boober has not said a word. Right? He hasn't even made a short.
No, but Rose made a short.
Oh, I almost forgot about her. Damn it.
And she said that she wasn't happy with Benny Keys right now. But Benny, you need to go there and look at her channel and how much BS she's put out about you. I'm like,
You see, I was starting to think, maybe if Benny Keys is going over there and letting them.
No. She was saying that Mama Bear's been running her mouth about Benny, is what she was saying.
Oh, that's incorrect.
And trying to get Benny pissed off at Mom.
That's incorrect.
That's what that was.
See, and I took the information wrong. I might have read it in a comment or something that Benny Keys was over there in Rose channel, and I made the comment, and I will say it that I made the comment, and I am wrong for making the comment that if Benny Keys is associating with the Roe group and the Boober side, he needs to stay away from over here because we're exposing bad actors. I did make that comment, and now that I know the actual gravity of what's going on with Benny Keys, I would like to redact that comment. I would like to redact my aforementioned statement about Benny Keys. And I would like to publicly apologize if I have caused any damage or any ill feelings toward me for saying that about Benny Keys to Benny Keys. I apologize publicly to Benny Keys.
I'm going to say this. I don't publicly shame anyone who's trying to get clean. But I will agree, a shot is a cheap way out.
It is a cheap way out. I mean, that'll be about say for instance, I'm very open about my addiction and the way that I just up and quit it. That'd be about like me being like, you know what? Life is stressing me to the point I think I'm just going to go snort a line. I'm sober, but, it's just saving my sobriety. That'd be about like me going to snorting a line after being 170 plus days sober. You see, it just doesn't work like that. Because if per se, because mine was amphetamines, let's say a meth head decides to get clean for a good long while. Let's say they decide to recreationally go snort a line just for the hell of it. You're gonna deem them a meth head again. You're not gonna look at them in the same light as you were when they were sober. You see how this contradicts you, Boober? That shot is essentially that line of meth that the recovered addict has reverted back to. So, no, that shot did not save your sobriety. It inhibited your sobriety.
Because I guarantee, my one question is if he stops that shot and someone was set 12-pack down in front of him, he didn't think he was going to get caught, do you think he would take a drink? Hell yes.
Oh, yeah. He would be drunk.
My dad quit cold turkey. I quit cold turkey. I wish my cousin
quit without
could.
assistance.
I wish my cousin could. He's the only one that I've ever looked at and said, "You are a functioning alcoholic, sir."
I quit without assistance. I didn't have to have rehab. I didn't have to have none of that. And I'm proud of that. Because it takes a hell of a mindset to do that. Let me go see what the Tina Tilapia said. Probably not about the enchiladas either. Let's go to shorts. Oh my god. How many shorts did this lady fucking make this morning? Oh, wait. I want all my viewers to hear the grown man speaking at the time, you know?
Oh, my husband. The reason Cattle King does not have relations with his children is simply because Cattle King have relations with his children.
Okay, so Mr. Rowe said in his manly man voice that the reason Cattle King doesn't have relations with his children is because he has relations with his children. Now, I'm an expert in ELA. I excel in grammar and linguistics and that of the talking nature. So what that tells me is, you know, they didn't have relations with their child because they had relations with their child. That to me is just what the tomfuckery. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, so context is always important in a conversation. Context is always also important in an accusation. So therefore, the context of that accusation or that statement is absolutely obliterated. We don't know what the fuck he said because you were literally syntactically you were saying the same thing twice. They didn't have relations with their child because they had relations with their child. So you are giving positive feedback into a negative feedback loop, you know? That in no way of any capacity made any fucking sense.
So I have questions. If as a little girl, you and your sister were molested, your father was convicted, and your mother disappeared, would that make you a nasty man?
A what?
So I have questions. If as a little girl, you and your sister were molested, your father was convicted, and your mother disappeared, would that make you a nasty little bitch?
I don't know. Why don't you ask that question in the mirror? And maybe the answer will come from within there by yourself. Because to me, and this is just me speaking, to me, that seems like what's happening with Ro. Exactly what she just said here. Let me see. Does this turn up anymore? I'm all the way up. So her microphone really sucks on her phone.
I have questions. If as a little girl, you and your sister were molested, your father was convicted, and your mother disappeared, would that make you a nasty little bitch?
So if she was a kid, both her sisters were molested, dad ran off, and whatever else the fuck she said, wouldn't it make her a Nancy in the middle bitch? To me, it kind of seems like she's kind of speaking for herself on that comment or that question, should I say? And is that my sister I hear in the background? Because it kind of sounds like Taylor in the background of that video. Are you on the phone with her? Is she there with you? Because did anybody else catch that? It kind of sounded like Taylor in the background.
So I have questions. If as a little girl, you and your sister were molested, your father was convicted, and your mother disappeared, would that make you a nasty little bitch?
That kind of almost sounds like Taylor. It's got the same harmonic in the vocals. I could be wrong. Occasion does make mistakes. I could be wrong. but I got a hunch,
Now,
and not a munch.
would you be trying to make Rose innocent because your father was convicted and lost his friend, and that's why you made your daddy innocent?
Oh, okay. So she's going after Candace now. Okay, so yeah, she's going after Candace Wells now. She's trying to dig substance into the background of Candace's life and trying to pick and prod into reasonings as to why maybe why Candace is the way she is. It seems like maybe that's why, maybe it's character development that made Candace what she is today. Maybe Rose is trying to imply that, her rough childhood had a significant impact into her adulthood. It seems like what Rose is trying to implicate here.
Benny Keys, I ain't particularly chill with you right now, but dude, you cannot be that fucking dumb. You need to glide through that bitch's fucking channel and look at the shit she's been saying about you for. Benny Keys.
We actually don't speak bad about Benny Keys over here at Raging Cajun Media, and neither does anybody at I'm That Mama Bear Studios. We actually support Benny Keys. We are actually friends with Benny Keys. Yeah. Allegations are lies, because you can say it all day. I can say I'm the president of the United States. Hell, I can go and tell you, hell, I'm a cop. I can say that all day I want to. Whether it's true or not, it completely depends on me bringing it out and proving to these people that I am what I am. So therefore, thereby saying that if you know or have found or have some way in some capacity evidence that Mama Bear is talking shit on Benny Keys, why don't you pull a Boober special and show us those documents? In the style of Boober Weir. Provide me the documents stating Mama Bear slandered Benny Keys' name. Yeah, I can pull the Boober Act too. And you need to stop smelling your fingers. I know those Clit Ripper 9000s, the long-ass nasty-looking fingernails you got, they must hurt and they might smell like a sardine can. But you make it really obvious in your videos. You might want to clip those up, paint them, make them look just a little bit nicer. Because we all know you clip the lip with those rippers. Like, there is no way around that one. And Ro does. She gets all buddy-buddy with people just to turn around to gather. And Ro is a mole. Ro gathers information for her benefit or the benefit of her own clan, the people in her clan. She will gather every stitch of information, whether it's true or not. Go back to her squad of people that think on the same spectrum, the same like-minded individuals, and spread the information there. And this is how people get defamation of character. This is how people get slandered, right? Ro is a mole. Everybody out there listening, do not trust that bitch. She is a mole and she is no good. Do not trust her. They are all users. Yes, they are. But, yeah. So, in conclusion, I'm going to go on and wrap this up here in a few seconds because my phone's going to explode. It's hot. In conclusion, it seems like Robert Thompson, a.k.a. Boober Weir, is an absolute unit of a dumbass. He is the dumbest example of testosterone left in a man's body, but stuck in a boy's mind that I have ever seen in my life. This man obviously has a learning comprehension problem. He obviously has some sort of deficit, making it to where he cannot comprehend the differences between certified compliant and certified non-compliant. So, thereby in saying, it seems like he is having a hard time. He might have a learning disability. We just have to be patient, it seems, with him. I mean, even though we've been doing this for 4 years, we might just have to stay patient with him. Maybe he will slowly learn. I doubt it, but maybe time will heal all things. So, another thing we're going to touch bases on. Boober seems to know that touched children also revert to genders that are not of their preference. They, go fucking, goddamn gay and shit. Not that I have a problem with it or anything. Your preference is your preference. But Boober seems to know that touched children often manifest homophobics. They're not homophobics. Fucking gender change. That word. So, yeah, I'm fine, Taylor. I'm actually fixing to wrap it up so my phone doesn't turn into a fucking grenade. I'm just, I'm reiterating these bullet points. I'm going over everything. I'm, fixing to wrap it up. Like I said, my phone's hot. It's going to explode. I would be like them and drop my, I don't know, fucking donation link so y'all can fucking buy me a new phone, but I can buy myself a new phone. I don't need none of that like they would. So, in conclusion, I've admitted my wrongs. I've explained the difference between compliance and a charge. Child abuse and sexual offenses are 2 different categories of crime. Child abuse, smacking the shit out of your 14-year-old unruly fucking stepson or whatever is not going to have a non-compliance against the Jessica Lunsford Act. It's just not going to do that, okay? So, I have been truthful. I don't think I should have been swallowed. I honestly think I'm a great son. My mom is absolutely blessed to have me in her corner because of freakazoids like you on the internet. Because, like I said, it takes a special breed of dumbass to have a learning comprehension problem at the age of 51 where you can't understand the difference between compliance and non-compliance, okay? So, we're going to also touch bases on those connections you say you have that I don't want to meet. That would leave me not being able to talk for whatever amount of time. Let's meet those connections. Let's go on and get that on the board. Let's go on and meet those connections. Those are apparently scary people. And, I'm not scared of your scary people. Okay? Hey, Candace. How are you doing? How's Dawn doing? I'm just touching bases on a few things. I'm wrapping this one up. My phone's a little hot. It's gonna turn into a damn grenade on me. This was a long one. I went over a lot of things. I made some good points. I've exposed some criminal infractions that Boober is currently committing. So, with that being said, I want to play his game, as he quotes, "Play my game." I want to play his game and show him that I am not a bitch bag like he says I am. Like I've mentioned, he has a comprehension problem. He can't differentiate the understanding versus comprehending. Because he says it's a sealed record. He's divulging information of a sealed record found in and thereby in a sealed record to a public platform such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Restream, StreamYard, and liking, right? Divulsion of a sealed record, especially family court records, is a fucking felony in every state. Okay? There's only 3 bodies that have access to sealed records. That is government entities, court systems, and law enforcement bodies. Okay? We're also touching on the fact that family court can cause a JLA act, but only if the offender is proven to have been in contact sexually, heinously, or committing carnal acts of great sexual violence on juveniles, minors, and the like. So, in conclusion, I think Robert Thompson is got to be the biggest dumbass out here on YouTube. Like, if they're you have family in law enforcement, you should know Sealed records should not be divulged on public platforms to defame, to slander, to damage one's identity or reputation. It goes against the Private Citizen Act. Okay? Let me just go on and oh shit. Hold on. I'll mod Candace. Almost dropped my legal pad. Hold on. Let me go to my comments. But yeah. Robert has divulged that Jason's criminal history was apparently a sealed record. So thereby in the 70 plus videos where he has stated that Jason is a sex offender, RSO, everything up to the JLA Act, you know, all those videos compiled into one led up to the day where she was mad. And like I said, choices done in anger cannot be undone. Thereby in saying he was upset, had to get his point across and said, they're sealed records. Well, you're divulging information found in sealed records on a public platform to cause great harm to one's reputation or public image. That's a felony. I'm just going to let you know. You, as a police officer, should have known that. Or being in a police officer's family. You know. That right there just sunk your whole fucking ship. Alright? It just sunk your ship. Because I'm just gonna let you know. Yeah. I'm modding Candace. Hold on. Add as moderator. You are a moderator. Okay, now you're mod status. Alright, so like I was saying, in conclusion, it has been found that he has committed, you know, criminal infractions against the Private Citizen Act. He has aforementioned it on YouTube, a public platform, that it was a sealed record until, you know, he said it was sealed record and pretty much fucked himself. Because divulging of that information not only is illegal, it also traces back to how you're getting information about people's fucking records. So therefore, we all know you're abusing power. And for everybody that's just now coming in, for Candace, I want you to hear this too.
Jason, you and Bubba the bitch bag, okay? You guys really need to understand the meaning of the Justice for Lunsford Act, okay? You have it on your record because of a family court issue. Child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Right there. It's called a sealed record. But this entire time, up until April 26, 2026, he's been divulging information about Cattle King's, you know, record, right? But he made the mistake of saying today it's a sealed record, so therefore you incriminated yourself. You said it was a sealed record, but you've divulged so much information from that apparent sealed record, now you have violated the Privacy Act, and now you have committed a crime. Then, Candace, I don't know if you're aware, I asked for if Goober was law enforcement, a body of the court system, or works for any entity of the government. I asked for a badge number. Tammy threw up 2165. Little did she know that I was looking up Johnstown Police Department, right? I called them and gave them the badge number and Tammy's name, none of which came back as familiar. And actually, the badge number 216 comes back to a male officer. Before I asked that question, you see, A1 Street pointed it out in the comments. I was smart to ask questions that I knew answers to, because I already knew that New York used a 3-digit serialization method on their badges. So I asked for a badge number. I said, yeah, I should see a 4-digit badge number. Who the hell popped up with a 4-digit badge number? That would have been Detective Porkchop. She let anger override her critical thinking and put out a fictitious badge number. Thereby in which I reported to Johnstown Police Department, in which they are aware of. So yeah. She did not think that one all the way through, and they didn't think I already had answers to the questions that I was asking. And she provided a fake badge number. She didn't think I was going to cross-reference it with actual factual information, and the fact that they use 3 digits. So in conclusion, I've proved that they are all false representatives of the truth. They are far from true crime detectives. They are way far from being trustworthy. I would not trust them people if they had the actual document saying something was true. If they told me the sky was blue, I would ask the scientist next to me, is the sky really fucking blue? I'm seeing blue, but are you seeing blue? Because I don't remember, and I damn sure don't trust the damn thing this motherfucker says here. And I don't remember a time ever trusting them. So, that being said, it looks like, yeah, they have no impulse control, and that's what fucking sunk Tammy's Boober's boat right there. No impulse control led to sealed documents being leaked, fucking sealed records. And no impulse control led to a 4-digit badge number when New York uses 3. Hey, I cannot control the fact that I have this much control in their life to which they get angry and tear themselves apart. I have professionally picked apart their entire fucking channel at this point. I did the best job I can to explain to the people exactly what Boober wants to hear, but he can never be right. He's afraid to be wrong, right? That being said, I think I have professionally done the best job at exposing the Boober crew as nothing but frauds, schemers, and cult leaders. Because this is a cult. They are part of a cult. It's gotta be. Gotta be. Who begs for people's information this much other than scammers over in Kolkata, fucking India? Dude, seriously. I think I have done a good job of exposing these bad actors, and I really hope to see reform from their channels. I really hope to see some different subject matter while I take their channels and report them into YouTube after this live stream. I'm also going to include into the documentation when I send it over to the administrators of YouTube. I'm going to include that I want to see reform. Maybe see if they reform their channels. If not, terminate their channels completely. In conclusion, I think I've exposed their little grift ring or whatever the fuck y'all guys want to classify it as. I really hope, like I said, to see reform. I hope to see a different topic being talked about. I don't know, talk about the dogs that you keep letting fight. I mean, dude, seriously, I really want to see reform. So, I'm going to jump off of here. Wait a minute, hold on. We got a comment. What makes you think that that's a badge number? Because if it's not true and you call the cops, it's called a false report. Well, see, hold on, mods. Don't do anything yet. Let me explain to you're guilty. You're guilty. While you have a good question, you have a good standing point. This is where it gets tricky. See, a report wasn't made about the badge number or anything. It was just passed along as information that somebody could be using a badge number or to impersonate and or divulge sealed records information to the general public via YouTube, Twitch, etc. Let me see. What makes me think it's a badge number? Well, guilty, this is what I asked. I specifically said 3 bodies that the United States possesses have access, and explicit, only 3 bodies, explicitly, have access to sealed records. Boober, I can pull it again. Hold on. Guilty, listen to this.
Okay, you guys really need to understand the meaning of the Jessica Lunsford Act. Okay.
Well, they're probably still listening.
You have it on your record because of a family court issue, child abuse. Do you know what that is? Child abuse is what you did. It's called a sealed record.
Okay, so you're fine. So with him saying that's sealed record, right? The 70 plus videos of him disclosing the Jessica Lunsford Act, child abuse charges, and the such on Cattle King's record. Thereby, if it's a sealed record and he admitted April 26, 2026, that it is a sealed record, he is divulging information found in a sealed record to the general public for reasonings behind defamation of character, defamation, you got slander, you got everything, libel, destroying one's reputation. So what makes me think that's a badge number is, while disclosing the information that I have researched in, like I said, I contacted law enforcement agencies and found out information from them that 3 bodies are the only ones that have sealed records information. And I do, yeah, you're right, Queso. I got to itch a trigger finger too, so yeah. Government bodies, courts, and law enforcement are the only ones that have access to sealed records. Upon divulging that information to my live stream, I also therefore asked if Robert Thompson or Tammy Borden over on the Boober crew was law enforcement. And I told them they don't have to, all they got to do is provide me a 4-digit badge number. And a 4-digit number was posted on Tammy's page, 2165. A lot of agencies use 4 digits, but Johnstown, New York eccentrically uses 3-digit badge serializations on their shit. So when 2165 was put up, it was directly 21 minutes after I had asked. So that means, with it being posted 22 minutes after I, asked, it was posted 1 minute after me asking. I didn't see it until 21 minutes later. So that was a response to the badge number call out, right? What Tammy failed to realize is, I already know the answers to the question that I was asking. I already know that Johnstown specifically uses 3-digit serialization. When she put out the 4 digits in response to me calling for a badge number, she failed to realize, due to impulse control issues, that Johnstown does not use 4 digits. Thereby, when I said I was researching something, I was actually looking up the number, and I called Johnstown myself. I gave him the name and the badge number. 216 comes back to a male officer, but not of either one of their names and not of either one of their relations. So therefore, thereby, a report wasn't filed, but the information was passed along about Goober Weir and his channel and his girl and all of this stuff going on. That's the difference between a false report and locally available information being passed to law enforcement for reasons concerning the privacy of citizens and impersonation of law enforcement officers. That right there is the difference, okay? So, and also, it was pretty fucking glorious that, I could almost hear Detective Porkchop going, wee, 2165. I can almost see it. 3 digits, I already knew it. She put up 2165, and that was over for them. That right there discredits the whole Boober gang, the circle. If you're a follower of the Boober gang, leave that circle now. They are frauds. They are not truthful to the society at all. And they are, in fact, not law enforcement. Conclusion. I'm going to jump down off of here. I thank every one of you at Raising Cajun Media. And I love all of you guys. And I thank all of my moderators for having my back. And I can't wait to see the response this is going to get. Hopefully it's the response that I want. I want a public apology or the absolute termination of channel. But that we'll stay tuned. We'll see. So in the meantime, you guys take it easy. Cajun's going to go out, have a beer and a smoke break, and I'll touch base with y'all soon. Good night, y'all. I love